crazy to think that a team that is not officially in Tier 1 level of competition would qualify for a side through LCQs without an orc. Heretics, before going here, were known as Project Zero. They're beating Pro League teams in LCQs after Pro League team, and then they get an orc. They get a big name onto their belt to support them. They go here, and they're actually beating everybody's expectations. I was thinking to myself, you know, they'll go here, they'll win a map, maybe two, maybe win one series, and you know, that's probably gonna be that. But they have a good shot right now at going even further beyond. But on the other side, who also has the fan prediction, Waybo, a team that is the dark horse, the underdog, but right now, they have a very realistic chance at locking in #1 in groups, which could be the first time ever for APAC.
So I've just gone back through the history books. The last time APAC were a first place team in a group stage was way back in Sweden. Six Invitational 2022 with Dam1 Gaming, D+ Kia, now
that run.
they are known as. And that was, of course, Woogieman, Coded, and Rin's team. They did get first place in their group. But it has been 4 years since APAC have topped a group stage at the Six Invitational, and it will be the second time for it ever to have happened in SI history.
So there you go. That is just how impressive Waybo's performance has been so far. Over the bends, of course, nothing too out of norm here in Chalet. Otherwise, I would have stopped myself and gone, oh my god, look at that! It's been Asami and Castle for the attacking side to really target that kind of fortified position. So early spawn gets sent by Turd, he goes down. Robbie, one of the more experienced players in this server here, having some Tier 1 experience himself, says, I own you! As he gets a phenomenal shot on the Turd. No more Tuberao, and that's paired, of course, with the Kite for this one, meaning strategically, Waybo gonna lose a very big element to this opening, and Ape also down a half health off a secondary spawn pick attempt.
Primed.
It's always hard starting it around one player down. Now Weibo, they have been so good at their opening kills, but more so than that, they've actually been really good at converting them. They're the best team at the tournament at converting when they do find the opening kill at 86%. So Team Heretics starting things off, taking down a Weibo player early. You really couldn't ask for a better start here on such an aggressive map as Chalet. What's more, Skeptic has just hacked so much util with that Brava as well.
Oh, that's a great C4. I'm not sure that was pre-placed on the window, a toss out at a perfect moment, but either way, it gets a kill back to a trade. Heretics, of course, the Team Heretics being, you know, lesser experienced, coming from Tier 2, they're gonna play more default maps, more default attacking and defensive round strats. So I can definitely see them playing that older style Siege, have better conversions, and not take as many risks in the server. They're obviously playing pretty heavily here in the first round for an execute, right? Step 1, get a bit of map control. Step 2, get Solarium, perhaps, and then go for a plant, or hit a flank. U4, top Mezzanine Library side, has a backstab angle, gets the pick. But can they get the wall beast open? Again, Tuberao died early. There is still those kite claws on the walls.
And how are they going to clear it realistically? What util is there to speak of? They might just have to go for peaks. And yeah, unfortunately for Oscar, he's caught a bullet to the face thanks to Speakeasy. Weibo lashing out when they need to. And now Heretics are at a bit of a standstill. 1 minute to go, and that wall still remains solid.
Side is downstairs, so the wall upstairs is only one part of the problem. So wall as well downstairs from dining into fireplace. They gotta start getting going here. Small Maverick lineup up, applying a bit of pressure, but no way in towards this office room. The worst case here is inside a piano. There is a deployable shield. One nade from Grubby, can clear it, but I don't think they know about this position just yet. No nades now.
Well, here he goes, straight inside, but Speakeasy is watching, and Upor is the last man standing for the European roster. 1v3, they'll have to really mess this up with Weibo in order to give him a chance, and look at how disciplined they remain. Holding their crossfires, a player in piano behind the shields, a few taps out from Upor, but it's really going to be a done deal. Ape does overpeak a little bit, 1 HP, and the round will surely be over. Weibo starting things very strong on Chalet.
Oh boy, it started off again so disciplined from Weibo. I mean, the thing is, they're an APAC team, and when you say that, there's some old kind of things you hold against them. They're gonna have less discipline, less strategy, etc. But Weibo have really been a team from APAC, sure, but they have that discipline. They have strategical depth. When they're up against M80 earlier this tournament on Nighthaven Labs, they're using Capital in the highest level I've seen in a long time with the smokes and the fires and just having good coordination and good timings. And I really think a lot of this praise can go to Gohan. The new support staff, the coach of Waybo standing behind them, and Tursa said it in that interview, the Generations content piece, having a coach who has been a player himself before makes a huge difference. By Turt's own words, he said, it's kind of the only way to have a coach if you want to have it at the highest level, because they know what it's like. And if there's one person you can look towards, it's got to be Gohan. There's been a very big shift positively since he joined the roster as the head coach.
Yeah, he's had a huge impact. And Weibo for the longest time had their old bleed support staff. Of course, Mentalist was coaching for these guys for a very long time. He kind of stepped aside. Meepy did a lot of the heavy lifting. Now it's really all about Gohan. And look, the meta has been for quite some time. You pick up a Brazilian coach. It's always sad to see old guards depart from a roster. I think particularly Mentalist, you know, he was a teammate of Speakeasy for a very long time. But all good things come to a close, and you cannot deny Gohan, look, let's be real, he had a bit of a reputation back in the day.
We've all been young.
We have, and he is like, not only does he have such an overbearing presence, he is one of the loveliest guys I've met at the Six Invitational. You see him walking in the hallway and you're like, oh, he's a bit scary, but then he opens his mouth and you're like, wow, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And I think it's the perfect balance that Weibo needs, strength, but also maturity.
Speaking of maturity, of course, Speakeasy, you said he played a long time with Mentalist, and Speakeasy, he's not your typical kind of IGL support player. He gets in the action very frequently, and also often MVP in domestic matches, dropping, you know, double-digit kills, games, etc. Very much leading from the front, playing the Clash, playing the Blitz. Right now, he's just lurking down bottom blue. Waybo have been really good already in the first rounds here, fighting for map control in highly contested areas. Right, last round, they're holding heavy piano control, not surrendering the verticality. Right now, they're trying to deny this basement staircase angle to not allow Ufer on the ace to get that stock wall. That's due to Speakeasy being bottom blue with the Clash shield. He needs help now to take control of basement because you cannot 1v1 a Clash.
Heretics are presented with a lot of obstacles. And so they're doing their best to, step by step, clear out some of this util. And the bulletproof camera was giving them a lot of grief in lobby. You mentioned the Clash as well. Thankfully for Heretics, they've started to seep their tendrils into the building. A lot of drone work going down. I like the Brava Twitch combo.
Yeah.
The thing that will make Heretics suffer is the time, right? It's the 6th player on the board for Weibo. They spend all this time droning. They will run out of time to actually get their boots in the building.
Yeah, exactly. And plant denial, there's Toxic Babes, a lot of map control. They got the stock wall now, bit of pressure on there. Clash has also left the area, gone back to top floor. That's why Ufer retook this exact position. So they breached there, but they couldn't use it. Holman strikes first.
Oh, Grubby, he's gone down. I didn't even see where he went. Oh, here we go. This is very deadly for Speakeasy.
He's not
Takes
injured.
a hell of a lot of damage, but he does get the shield back out again. He'll try and keep Oscar at bay, but he needs some support because Oscar will win if he can close the distance on Speakeasy. Thankfully, there's a crossfire. He's baited into up bay for 2 big kills. Up inside of the dark corner of library. Ape makes it his home. He silences Heretics and leaves Flexi and Upor in such a rough position. With Reaps and Speakeasy both lit up, there might be a way into it. Putting the shield down on the ground. Reaps is now going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting as Speakeasy's finished off. Flexi 1v1 as Upbase finally finished off, but Reaps holds the line for Weibo.
He holds the angle. It's a 4K for Flexi looking for the final one. There's 6 seconds left and still Weibo keep on fighting and bringing that aggression back towards Team Heretics, shutting them out off the bomb site. Speakeasy on the Clash. Ridiculous sequence, right? Shot to 1 point of health very early on before the execute started. And he's top mezzanine, he's baiting, he's pushing, he's all over the place. Ape gets 2 kills off of that. Then he's bottom fireplace getting, oh, 1 guy here, 1 guy there. And yes, Speakeasy does go down, but he actually finds out where 4 different attackers were before he goes down.
Speakeasy is such an impact player without it really showing up on the scoreboard a lot of the time. Yeah, and look, he's also one of those players that just brings so many vibes to the team, and you really, really need that. I mean, when you look at this roster for Weibo, right? You got players like Hoven, Reaps, and Ape, who this tournament have just been performing out of their minds statistically. Ape had 144 EPS in their second game, Reaps 149, Hoven 127 in their first game. Speakeasy doesn't really show up on the scoreboard a lot, but his impact is insane, and it's why he actually has, let me double check the exact number.
He does have pop-off games, to be fair.
He has the third best KOST rating at the tournament. 73% of rounds, Speakeasy is having a big impact.
Remember when we were in Melbourne for domestic finals, right? And it was like going to like 2 a.m., like, you know, really late. And you go,
3 in the morning.
who's having fun, guys? He's like, me, I'm having fun. Like, he just loves the game, genuinely.
Yeah, without a doubt, the most cooked day of Siege I have ever been a part of was that PAX qualifier in Melbourne, the qualifier for the Munich Major for APAC. And you're right, like, Speakeasy, he didn't let it get to him at all. The mental for Waybo is incredible, which is saying a lot. When you come to a Six Invitational, you're playing against really top echelon competition, you need to be able to bounce back. You need to be able to have some fun with it.
It's funny because there's been a bit of a contrast, right? Speakeasy, untiltable. But then Turdstar, if you go back a year ago at least, had a bit of a he can tilt quite easily reputation.
Yeah.
So you have two different halves there. Smoke goes out to protect the glass. Flexi in the building. Good bit of map control. But this is Weibo giving them Solarium, not choosing to fight back. They're playing deeper back in the bomb side.
Wow, he's extremely deep already. Speakeasy might be able to swing him, but Flexi is very aware of that. A bit too much of a premature pre-fire from Speakeasy. And now Heretics, they have a chance at locking this round in. They've got half of the site control they need. But going for a plant's going to be very challenging. Flexi has the diffuser, but he's pretty much the only one actually covering himself.
He's waiting for it.
Oh, that's the play, isn't it? Turdstar,
they're waiting for him.
Impacts as well. He's being watched from below by Oscar, and Heretics dot all their I's. They cross all their T's, and they get themselves on the scoreboard here on Chalet.
This is exactly what I mean when I say Team Heretics play older school style Siege. I think you need to hit them with a little bit of a curveball or that explosive kind of newer style aggression like we saw in round number 1 and round number 2. When you give Team Heretics a default round, they have it figured out. They take Solarium because they recognize this is completely for free. Then they recognize as well, no one's playing close in bathroom and aggressive in master bedroom by the chassis or really that much in the closet. So Flexi just walks on in. Then they're thinking, okay, we got the injuries, we killed the closet player. What do we need to do now? Well, we gotta go for a default plant location and get a guy below.
Because I actually want to fucking tell you guys to
out.
wake the fuck up in there right now, right? We seem dead slow, we seem dead fucking out of it right now. It's time we get actually into the fucking game. We're playing the game in a minute, right? The communication's off, the 3-2-1's, the coordination's off. We're having Flexi fucking repel in when nobody's even next to him. Like, we have to fucking wake up. This game can be fucking easy for us if we want to fucking actually win it.
David, let me say,
right?
we're droning shit. Like, let's say it, like, with more fucking panache, bro. Harvey, you're droning solo, guys. Solo guys.
We need mid up, we need play with mid desperation. Right,
People keep saying we don't need to win this game, bro. Of course we need to win. We want to win.
Guys, we need to play with fucking some desperation, right? Come on.
Yeah, guys. Let's play with a bit of urgency, guys, okay? Let's go.
That does not sound like a team that just won a round.
I was gonna say, sometimes, I was just praising how good that looked. From the outside looking in, I was like, that's a great round. You should be happy with that one. Obviously not the case at all. And it goes to show Flexi was not getting supported apparently. People are droning but not communicating. So he rebels in a huge risk, which to us looked like they droned and they called that it was clear to calculate it. But apparently it was a last-ditch effort out of like desperation, almost saying, okay, I guess I'll just go then. But it was good on paper. But obviously not happy with that one. Team Heretics, like we spoke of earlier, they have started slow every single game so far. They've lost their first opening map in every BO3 they've played so far. Then they've gone on to win some and gone off to lose one as well.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they have been punching above their weight class this entire event as the only Tier 2 team. All of their games have been hard fought. Like you said, they've had to come back after losing the first map. And they are tied second place with M80. So they're doing phenomenal.
But should they have the pressure upon them?
Not
they're up
at all.
against M80, up against Waybo. They're a Tier 2 team.
And exactly what we just heard in the tactical timeout. I didn't catch who said it, but I think someone said, guys, it's okay. We pressure's off. We don't have to win this game. And someone said, what do you mean? Of course we have to win this game. Like, man, these guys are not fully on the same page.
No, I mean, I get it though, right? You go into the thing is, there's different mentals to a game. Back when I was a player, I had the mental that we're always going to lose the game that we're playing, because then in my head, I'm not afraid of losing, because that's the reality. Now I'm going to play to win. But then you have my former teammate Fabian going, if I ever said that out loud, dude, I would get told to never say that again, because don't ever say that we're not going to win. Of course we're going to win. We're the best team in the world. It's the mental side.
Yeah.
Some players need that alleviation of pressure going, it's okay, we don't have to win. They don't actually mean it, that they're going to want to lose, but...
It's interesting how like different people respond to different kinds of pressure. For some, the assumption is that you lose so that you have to work hard to win. For others, the assumption is that you win so that you gas yourself up, tell you that there is no such thing as losing this game. Heretics, though, they found their first attack. They finally broken that trend from Weibo.
Oh, we missed it.
Yeah, he did miss that one, and unfortunately, Upor has missed his chance. An aggressive peek from Hoven. He's dueling two players, one on the window and one downstairs outside the lobby door as well. He's being droned from Library. And now from the bottom of main stairs as well, it's a Twitch drone from Oscar just to check for any extra util. They are hunting Hoven, but they're going to need some kind of util, or perhaps a Blackbeard to clear him. Out comes the nade, and he's being covered from the other side. Well done. Grubby and Flexi put pieces together and finally do away with that Indonesian player hanging out at the top of Pillar.
Thank God the nade got the kill, because Grubby was a bit mistimed on the Library rappel, not kind of getting the catch off. That could have gone the wrong way. But then Tursta takes down Flex and the Blackbeard right after anyway. So Heretics, you know, they're very much in the right. Communication not quite there, right? Playing very far apart. They're playing 3 drone operators. It takes a lot of time to get in the building, but now that they're in, they gotta play closer together. Get to step 1, get into step 2, and then step 3.
Grubby's the most experienced player on this roster. Him and Oscar both know what it's like to play at international event, know what it's like to play at Tier 1. They see the gap, they have to go for it, but Turz has come around from behind. Grubby takes him down. Good. It's up to Speakeasy, and Speakeasy alone for Waybo. 1v2, both players very low HP.
So winnable. Has no C4, but again, it's all about controlling the hatch control here, right? He knows they can go down Solarium stairs, down the kitchen hatch, and of course into fireplace or dining hall. So for Team Heretics, information, where is Speakeasy at? For Speakeasy, control the hatch for as long as humanly possible. It's going to be hard to cover everything with only one person covering and one person planting.
Anyone who drops down that hatch is guaranteed to die. The shotgun actually will be perfect. He barely needs to touch them, and Skeptic will fall. Grubby drops down the hatch, needs to get up close. Speakeasy's watching with the shotgun. Surely Speakeasy can win this. But amongst the calamity, the extinguisher detonates and both players get concussed. It buys enough time for Speakeasy to clutch the round on time.
You can't fault Team Heretics too much in that one. I know it can look very easy, but that is actually an incredibly difficult 2v1. Most importantly because both attackers are so low on health, they'll die to any bullets, basically.
But they needed to stack, ideally, right?
So that's the thing, right? Stacking is often a very good idea. When you're both 1 point of health, the shotgun will take you out both. They hasn't told the same story. I genuinely believe the lack of utility and the fact they were so low on health gave them almost no option to get into that one.
Also had no info, right? They had to drive a drone all the way from blue just to try and find where Speakeasy was, and there was less than 20 seconds remaining by the time they started droning.
Let's go! The clutch man!
Look, all I can say is I'm glad that Speakeasy is better at Rainbow Six than he is at table tennis, but he looks the same as when he's getting thrashed at table tennis as when he's 1v2ing casually, just 1v2ing.
He's happy to be there, that's it. When he's losing table tennis and winning, he's just happy to be there, James.
And look, to flip the script here a little bit, Weibo are really good at attacking this map. They got 4 out of their 6 attack attempts against FearX when they played this just the other day. Team Heretics also typically very good at attack. They got 4 out of 6 of their attacks when they played NIP. And also did win all 3 of their defenses, but both teams I think should expect to be having a lot of luck on their attack based on that previous result. So I think Heretics, for them, the pressure is kind of mounting because they're saying, guys, why is this harder than when we played NIP? And I think there's a very good answer. Weibo are just on another level.
I mean, in that previous round, Grubby, such good entry, but that was once the round was already kind of lost strategically. So we want to see that kind of confidence earlier on before Team Heretics lose a player or 2. This could be a potential side rush though, right? They got Glass that can cut off Library perfectly, and Blitz with the case outside the bomb site window can jump on in, and a Thatcher to deny any throwables, or the Echo Drone in this case to deny the plant. And they get opening pick. This is the best round so far for Team Heretics. The first. Ooh. You could also EMP a bunch of those ADSs and try and clear out the play on the corner. The issue is, Flexing with like a smoke grenade to help the glass, no frag grenades. So that corner position is practically unclearable, and then you toss a smoke on air jab and just go for kill.
Wow, there's a lot of options here, but Heretics keep stunning those ADSs, perhaps to try and bait out some rotation, bait out some plays from Waybo. They can catch them off guard.
Yeah, I think if they had nades on Flex, they could just EMP nade and then they get a freebie again, hopefully. So instead, they switch the take. They go into library, piano, etc. Or sorry, piano, master bedroom. They take it all for free, and they flip the attack because they have man advantage.
Yeah.
This is great.
No, and I do like the fact that they're still baiting and pretending that they're going to go for that nade-based execute, even though they don't have the grenades.
Mind you, all the ADSs are in the library corner. So these smokes on top mess and top blue, they can just really enable Uper on the glass.
And a lot of this is being enabled by the fact that Reaps uncharacteristically exposed himself very early to the windows and died. Hoven also was taken low. Now, there is that Echo drone, which is going to stun the Yoko. Wait a second! Tursta snuck all the way from up behind, taking down the Blitz. Upor will find one, looking for a second on blue stairs. If Waybo just play passively here and fall back, then they might actually be able to persist with an advantage.
Church up the hatch as well, so the flank is off. Back to a 4v3. They got full top floor control, 40 seconds. But the issue is now they've lost the blitz. Planting much more difficult. All they have to work with is a single of smoke from Flexi to try and get down that diffuser. They're creeping right below the hatch.
All three Yokai's gone for Waybo, so no plan denial. It's all about the plays. Ape is aggressive underneath that hatch. He's also vulnerable in the default plant spot. He might be able to take down Grubby, and that pick flips the script again for Waybo. They look to try and finish him off, but they don't know where he's gone. Upor underneath the hatch finally gets Ape. A 2v3 now for Speakeasy and Turdstar. As Turdstar gets caught out, he finds one. It's all up to Turd. 1v2 into the post plan. And it's all up to the Vigil. Does he have info on where Upor and Oscar will reside? No util for Upor, no smokes. It's all up to Tursta and his gun skill. And he sees the first, but Oscar will get him dead to rights with the L85. A second round on the board for Team Heretics.
And they finally fight back. Now is Team Heretics in control the entire round, despite what I do believe was missing utility for that library corner player, the Jaeger. They say, guys, don't worry about it. Let's take 2 seconds. What are we going to do instead? And there was, again, no real hesitation. Yes, they get flanked by Turdstar and the Vigil because they had to skip a step to speed up the round, but Turdstar only gets one kill on the flank, then falls back, drops down Kitchen, and they have full top line control again. And once this first player died of Skeptic, I do believe that's a pretty good flank drone because they are not worried about that flank any longer for the rest of the round. So they had the drone, just didn't watch it.
Put under pressure the whole round through by Turdstar on that flank. Oh, he's a little bit tilted at losing that fight, though. He feels like he did his job that round. He went for his flank, he got his one,
guys.
Gets back to site, he's still putting on pressure. He even managed to fight back on site and take down the player in lobby as well. And then he still had to 1v2. We talked about mental Turdstar is that one player on Weibo that we would sometimes think maybe if anyone's going to tilt, it might be him. But he has really matured a lot, and I think under the guidance of Gohan, it might be able to bring Weibo into that next level for players like Turdstar who, you know, once upon a time were young up-and-coming gunners, and now pretty much every single player on this roster for Weibo is very experienced.
Also a good example last round of defenders investing a lot into one area of the map. Like I believe it was all 3 ADSs in library, and then there are Runegates on the windows with top missing and top blue stairs. Where it's like, well, the ADSs, they will regenerate and they'll do a lot more long-term. Runegates, they kind of burn one thing and it's 35 seconds worth of recharge. So it did feel a bit like they were really trying to deny and hold library control. When Team Heretics, with a simple smoke grenade and a glass, and like, will rip right through it, right? They all fell back and died.
And the Thatcher pick as well.
That means Thatcher's
Heretics
genius.
have done a great job of adopting the new meta. Thatcher really is just so perfect for that these days.
But look at the lineup. So this is so old school Siege. Like Thatcher's back in the meta for them. They're playing Twitch all the time. IQ on the board. It's very simple in the best way here for Team Heretics. All they need, genuinely, is that confidence on the entry to get the first gunfight on the board. When they get opening pick, they're on fire. But when they get locked out because Waybo aren't swinging first, aren't giving them anything for free, that's where they're stuck on the roof for over half the round. And then they gotta be forced into a desperate act of entry.
That's exactly right.
That's a nade.
Ooh, good one as well. Hoven has no choice but to take a bit of damage so that he doesn't expose himself to the library windows. I like this from Waybo. A slower start to the round. Force Heretics to make the first move. And they do. A jump into library for Uport. Grubby is just waiting out on the Jigsaw balcony, hoping that someone will expose themselves to his position. But again, it's very slow from Heretics. If Weibo don't give them a chance, they might not find their in.
They could grenade him and lion charge and force him to make the move on the top mezzanine just to give Upor the advantage in the gunfight. That repping is all he needs confidence.
Oh, big kill though. Reaps over-peeking. Turns to elsewhere. We'll find Flexi though. Hoven is under the pump like crazy right now. But he actually manages to stray. It's the player on site with the extended hold. And the crossfires work perfectly. Ape and Hoven together. They team up for Weibo, and they've locked Heretics out of this round. An impact to finish off. Poor Upor at the top of blue stairs. It's all up to Skeptic and Grubby now. There's so much crossfire here for Weibo. A player down inside a dining. It's Turd. He's got info from Red Pings as well. Doesn't get much worse than this for Heretics.
Such a strong setup here from Weibo. Crossfires everywhere, people playing together. Nobody's isolated. You thought the player top listening? Oh, he's gonna be so done for. No, everybody's watching his cross. Skeptic, Grubby, 1 HP apiece. They're waiting, they're watching, they're shooting back, and they are locking out Team Heretics. Grubby will find one. They'll jump out to look for him. They want that final kill. Turns the swings wide. Weibo secure another dominant round.
A big round for Ape at his first Six Invitational. And Weibo 4-2 split on their defense. They are putting Heretics under the pump on Chalet. As we move into the second half, Heretics have to be so proficient on this defensive side to make up for the fact that they got 2 less rounds against Weibo than they did against NIP on that attack.
And it's just missing energy. Grubby's been screaming every single kill cam I've seen in the previous games, and I know we say they start slow, they've always lost the first map in the BO3, but I'm not seeing that energy that we have seen before, that fire to just keep pushing through. So it seems a bit more frustrating for them, definitely. Even when they got that first round victory on the top floor attack and they call attack time button, you know, everybody's like on a different page.
And that's the problem. Heretics took their tactical timeout when they were down 1-2.
Yeah, after a round victory.
After winning a round. Now they don't have the tactical timeout to call when they're down 4-2. If this goes 5-2 here, that's when you want your tactical. But they've blundered it. They wasted it 3 rounds into the game.
Well, so this is the thing, right? There are teams that will call attack timeout the second they hit match point against them. So like, let's say they're 4-6 down. Oh, tech timeout, guys. Let's make a comeback happen now. But now you're forced into OT as a best-case scenario or losing regulation. I'm a huge fan of calling a tech timeout and getting ahead of the problem before you go down 3, 4, 5 rounds, whatever. But I just haven't seen that big...
Too early.
I don't think it's too early necessarily, but I don't think they've gotten the right result from it because it's the same issues they had for the remainder of the attacking rounds.
Look, to be blunt, that didn't feel like a tactical timeout. It felt like
mental.
An extra 60 seconds to argue, which just didn't feel productive.
We're trying to get on the same page, you know, and talk about the problems. And this is the thing, when you have lesser experienced teams, because while Team Heretics have some individually experienced players, as a roster, they are pretty damn new.
Now, here's a question for you. What do you do when you're mid-game and you have conflict that you need to resolve? Like, do you just have to be like, guys, pause on this, just pause, reset? We'll talk about that after the game. Right now, we just have to talk about what is relevant for the game right now.
You know, every team needs like an entry, a support, a coach. Well, every team needs a daddy. Somebody who has the final say when the kids are fighting.
Yeah.
We had Fabian. He would say, you shut up, you're being silly, listen to me, talk about it after.
Yeah.
Cut it.
And the thing about having a daddy is, look, if you do what daddy says and... sorry.
Yeah?
If you do what daddy says and it fails, then that's daddy's fault. Right?
Exactly. You take... that's the thing. If I say, hey, you go push this guy, it's a free kill. If you go in and there was like a C4 pre-play so it wasn't free, then that person...
That's not on you. That's not on the entry.
I told you to do it.
It's on the IGL.
Yeah. So if you get told to do something, you follow that plan, then it is on the person calling the plan. So do not get upset or angry or tilted. You are following orders, so to speak. Waybo, things have now flipped. They're on the attacking side. And the thing about Waybo is that they can play your structured 1, 2, 3 kind of rounds. They can also just send it in the building out of nowhere. And when there's a lion and a sense on the board, that opens things up for aggression and for out of nowhere kind of plays.
Oh, quick propel in for Speakeasy. Got players on 2 windows, but Flexi wins his first fight. Good trade from Tursta. It's a 3-2-1 and straight into the building for Waybo. The fire as well, the cutoff. So Tursta has support. Every single piece of this Waybo attack is working together.
It's so good.
They isolate him downstairs as well. He does manage to get one. Does Upor before we move into the 3v2, but Weibo still have the advantage and they're still droning it up.
So it's one how to catch the player, shoot the drone hold and swing down the staircase, but look at this, Grubby's fighting back. He needs to deny one player. Instead, Oscar finds Reaps. Grubby in a lot of fire, but
good
retake.
established. This is perfect from Oscar. Now Hovens, the last man standing, as the 2 most experienced players on Heretics look to try and clutch up the 2v3. And you're right, there must be a Valkyrie camera somewhere on Hoven. Hard to spot. No, it is
a Valcam, my friend. Don't doubt it.
Where is it, he says?
There is no Mossy. Even I don't know where it is, but I see they're watching it. And they know now, due to those pre-fires, that it's somewhere in this room. They see the staircase. Look at the discipline between Heretics. They're playing close together, doubling up on the same angle, using Grubby as bait.
Yeah, that's right. Doubling up on the same angle. He could have collided them. He gets the down on the first one. The trade comes through, and Heretics weather the storm. They close the gap. One more round, and they will be tied with Weibo.
Very good problem solving from Team Heretics, saying we cannot let them go for an execute. They are up in numbers. They fight bathroom, they fight master bedroom closet. They need to go, not even in numbers, need to get more kills. Then they have people falling apart. So they lost 3, now they gotta get 3 or 4 kills in response. And they actually get it. Somehow, somebody, Oscar swings the bathroom door and saves Grubby. But this right here was a great play.
Swapping back!
The player outside was shooting the drone hole on Trophy to force the Valkyrie flanking to be like, what's going on? To enable his teammate then walk down Solarium stairs and get a 1-for-1 trade. This is essentially Waybo playing a 2v1, but they're so far apart but still helping each other to get that gunfight victory. We sometimes see people go, okay, we know that's a guy flanking, nobody shoot. Let him flank, I'm watching the passive angle. But then if you miss that 50-50 gunfight, he sprints past your angle, now the flank is wide open. So instead, they start pre-firing, knowing the guy's flanking, and it becomes a, we know you're here, make a decision or you will die regardless. Team Heretics, they needed that round victory.
Yeah, they really did. Especially when Weibo started so strong for Team Heretics to be able to come back and then win that round so well, so skillfully. That gives you a little bit of confidence, knowing that next time Weibo find an opening kill, next time Weibo find an early advantage, it's not all over. Oh, another opening kill. Wow, there's a wallbang as well. Great drone work from both of these teams so far in this match.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also a drone deep into sight in stock as well. Great catch from our observing team.
When they get those drones in there, they're never gonna get found because you're gonna be like, oh no, the bomb site's ours, guys, right? No one's gonna have information here. But you'd be wrong. No, the thing is, with Team Heretics, when you lose a player early here in Chalet, it's gonna feel like the only option for you as a player in the server is to go aggressive and lash out for another kill, get back to a 4v4, because you need more bodies than your opponent to cover all the angles, right? You got staircase, you got the office push, you got the office wall, the window, the drone is good. Can they catch him though? The keeper's great.
Look, if he wasn't Azami, he's dead right there.
Yeah.
Oscar played that well, but so did Weibo, to be fair. I mean, that drone came out in the perfect timing.
Well, it saved, arguably saved the round.
Yeah.
He was deep in there. But you see the issue now, Team Heretics, they're gonna get attacked from every single side all at once. The odds of winning that round when the pressure's against you is very slim. And also, mind you, they need to have one player on side at all times. It gives you a side rush. So it's effectively 3v5 top 4.
Yeah. Weibo know exactly where these players are as well because of the drone work that has been so good. Going for the aggressive peek, it's Speakeasy, but
They drop.
yeah, and the FNAT mine is really making this a lot slower. Skeptic is able to find a good nitro as Reaps jumped into library, but still, as we reposition for Weibo, they are winning this round.
The issue's gonna be plant denial. Again, if they just drop the hatch with the Blackbeard and they smoke off a flash off one single angle, a plant should be able to go down. So again, Team Heretics.
Oh, Turd's watching.
They gotta get a flank.
It's a flank on West Main.
They know.
Grubby's been watching, but both players seemingly aware of each other. And Grubby will look to fall back towards Blue.
Hit the side.
He can help Upor, but of course that does mean that Weibo have the numbers advantage on site. Now the gap's been found by Ape and Speakeasy together. Grubby, they knew he was in the basement. And he's had to make his way back up into Fireplace, but Speakeasy spotted him with the Blackbeard. Big 2K for the IGL, and Weibo find their 5th.
I think the end of that round really shows the maturity levels for Waybo. And again, I want to praise Gohan, who's behind him, because I feel like that is going to be the Gohan effect. I have seen so many times in the past, Waybo would spot a person roaming in that 5v3 and go, guys, only 2 people by the bomb site, let's rush it right now. And they are sprinting in and they will die because they quite literally can't shoot back while they're sprinting. Instead, they go, guys, there's a person west main, he's gonna go back to the bomb site, either blue stairs or fireplace stairs. That's gonna take about 10 to 12 seconds. That means they can spend that first 10 seconds carefully walking down the staircases, guns up ADS, utilize the Blackbeard and the fire spring and the smoke, and then get deep in the bomb site. So instead of rushing and getting there in 4 seconds and maybe dying, they take 10 seconds, but they're successful. By the time Grubby is back on those staircases by the bomb site, it's too late, they're planting, they're deep, they have the full control, and more importantly, nobody died in a silly way. Because that has been Weibo's issue so many times before. They will die in really silly ways when they get significant numbers advantage. Maturity.
Discipline and refinement have been the name of the game since Gohan joined this roster as their coach. Now this is Weibo's map pick, Chalet. Next, we will go to Cafe, regardless of the result here. The second map in our BO3. I saw Heretics already had their Cafe booklets on the table, ready to go for map 2.
That's good.
So look, even if Waybo do win here, I wouldn't put it past Heretics to fight back. We've seen them lose the first map already in 3 different series at SI, and they've won 2 of those games. You certainly can't afford to just give up here on this map. There's still plenty of legs in it for Heretics.
Definitely. I mean, you get 1 round, you're only 1 round behind, and it's 4 or 5, so 1 round at a time is all you need. But right now, focus on Oscar playing top mess with the Asami. One of the most difficult spots, maybe the most difficult spot here on Chalet. So much against you, no support, and there's also no Jaeger or Wamai. The Green Bees are coming out, the Blackbeard's watching for me, drops on down, they're watching for Fabi's door. Can he get out? He has a keeper.
He could protect himself with that last keeper barrier. That one might actually just be enough, and indeed, he does fall back. So Heretics get their pick, and they get away with their life, but not for long enough. Oscar was caught. Speakeasy managed to get into mud, but somehow Uport gets an angle around the shield and trades back the Blackbeard, so Heretics do indeed get the last laugh.
Huge pick. So they got 2 kills, they got rid of Blackbeard and the Capital, 2 Grim Beats are gone, and half or a third of the flashes. This means a ton of utility wasted to gain very little map ground, and this is why playing Mezzanine is so difficult. Finding that perfect balance of overstaying or falling back too early can be very tricky, but I think Oscar really found the middle line really nicely, and his teammates also supporting him on the fallback. Toxic Babe tossed out to stop the aggression, but look at this, they found a way in elsewhere.
Loading new magazine!
In office.
SMG-11 does land true, though, for Flexi. I thought they might have been aware, and he finds another one! Upe deleted. Reaps 1v4, the most decisive round yet for Heretics, and it's all thanks to this man. Flexi fires up, and only 1 round behind are Heretics again.
Exactly, 1 round at a time. You get 1 more, now you're tied up 5-5. That's the mentality right now. Just focus on what's happening in the following 3 minutes and talk very briefly about, guys, what are their habits? How do they attack library? Was it 2 people double window? Was the guy single window? Did they go in downstairs in pool table and games? It's those small conversations you need to be having constantly to keep up. Okay, what are your opponent's habits? What do they do? How can we punish it? So you gotta share the knowledge across the map.
Grubby doesn't care what the score is. Heretics have really built a solid foundation here on Chalet. It took them a little bit of time to find their mojo, but they are very competitive in this game. And I think this was a telling moment as well. Both of these teams keep on fighting for those refrags, for those trades. Heretics find the first kill. Waybo makes sure to hunt down Oscar, but then Flexi is there to trade him back again. He's Scottish, isn't he?
There's an accent on
I
that
didn't
one.
know that Heretics' coach was Scottish, and then I just heard that in their tag timeout before. I was like, ooh, there's an accent we don't get to hear very often. I love it.
I feel like when I hear an accent that I'm not commonly hearing. I gotta like dial it in for a few seconds when it first gets heard, you know?
Yeah.
When that tag time started, I was like, what language is this? Oh, it's English. Okay. Which? Oh, it's Scott. Okay.
Well, we're so used to listening to different languages. It is funny when you hear a language that you know, but an accent that you don't, and you're like, oh no, they are speaking, or is someone speaking with like a second language?
I mean, we got very used to hearing the like Brazilian, Spanish, Portuguese accent when they speak English, because all the supporting staff of like half the teams in the world are from Brazil. Like Dark from Heretics, I feel like his accent is so easy to understand now for me, but when he first started with Heretics, I was like, what is this guy saying? Just because I'm unfamiliar with the way that they speak. So welcome addition, different iterations and ways to think about things and talk about things. And it does seem like Team Heretics supposed to have to run a firm hand when it comes to the expectations of the boys and how we're performing. But I think when you have a younger roster, so to speak, firm could be very good. And Team Heretics, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but they're very disciplined in the server, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I've just looked back, because originally when I did my nose for Heretics, they didn't have a coach. But now they're working with DMC, who's the Scotsman standing behind them right now. Previously from Space Station. Hold that thought for a sec. Speakeasy is going to get very aggressive. Wow, Upor's really feeling the pressure.
He's dead.
This nade should surely finish him off.
He's alive?
Somehow, but not for much longer, because Turtsa does continue pushing for that refrag. However, without the Blackbeard, this round will be a little bit more difficult. Thankfully, both of the AKs come to life for Turd and Uppe and bring the numbers back to Waybo's advantage.
Honestly, it feels like a bit of a lack of verticality there in Solarium. They're not really pressuring anybody from above looking down. So it's a very horizontal attack and defense, which obviously going to favor Waybo because they have significant numbers advantage. You know, they can take 5 attackers on Solarium and just take down that one player. So Team Heretics, maybe not expecting a Solarium push at all, but it did indeed happen. Damos check it downstairs. You've seen this one before. So tricky. Tubarão counters it though. Actually can use Jammer.
Yeah, but of course the Tubarão using that freeze does mean that it basically says exactly where he is. You're right though. No player on big window means there's so much mobility here for Heretics, and yeah, they have just died. So
couldn't find the target.
Comes from our ops team. Apparently, yeah, the player on big window died. I'm not sure if that was a nitro cell. I didn't manage to catch that while it was happening. Timing. But yes, this has been really well played by Heretics. They continue to just run away from Waybo. And the Tubarão has been a perfect counter to that Damos. One more track comes through. He still has one more freeze. And down it goes. Oh. He's still trying to hunt him. But there's just no time left. There's no chance for Waybo here this round. Flexi is going to take down Hoven. And another one as well. MVP of the round. Back-to-back for Flexi.
There's the fire from Grobby. I was telling you, it was missing this entire time, but slowly and surely, he is getting fired up. An awkward change that happened actually to the EMPs recently because the Tubarão freeze accident actually first,
look,
Waybo tag
we
time
only have
out.
one problem. We have the advantage, we have the strong positions, but instead of play together, just hold for aggression. We are trying to do something crazy. Like this time, Tubarão, bro, you can track the Tubarão, bro. We're gonna still freezing. Just play together, bro. Everyone. In time you track, we're gonna throw the ice and you just fight for, you know, for refrag. So next round, guys, pay attention on this, okay? This is the only problem we have. So in time, the time is getting to 1 minute, 50 seconds. You guys already know the information. We just go for refrag, you know? We don't need crazy stuff. We don't need a perfect play. We just need to still making progress in the round, okay? Very easy, guys. Very easy.
Energy,
We're the best, guys. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
Let's win the shit, guys.
There is that maturity, that knowledge, that leadership from Gohan.
This is just, it's so polar opposite to the Gohan that played at Six Invitational 7 years ago in 2019. And all of the drama that happened surrounding him. And now he is just so zen. And that advice was so good as well. I really like how he said we don't have to play perfect. We just have to make progress.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing, like, if you're standing in a queue in real life in a grocery store and you're not moving at all, that, to me at least, feels infinitely worse than just slow and steady, like micro steps every now and again, right? And I think the same philosophy can be taken into a siege round, where when the round is completely stagnant and you're not making any progress at all, you'll eventually go, this isn't working, got time for plan B. Let's just do this crazy thing. If you're making teeny tiny improvements or steps across the board, that's completely fine. And I think in that one, it felt like if you Deimos track the 2-brow, you feel like you might be making progress if you're the Deimos, because you feel like the dopamine, oh, I can track him. But the other 3 people are like, bro, we're not getting anything done. Like, come on, let's do something. And he's right. Tracking 2-brow, they're going to trade 1 for 1. Deimos tracker, 2-brow freeze, nothing actually happens. You're not progressing at all. And the funny thing I was going to say is, they changed how EMPs affect scopes recently. Yeah. So it used to be only the 1x holographic scopes could be EMP'd, but now the ACOG, every scope, gets equally nullified.
And that, of course, gets affected by the freeze effect.
So when you're 2-brow, you can't see anything with the scope.
It's very awkward because you kind of have to guess where your bullets are going in the middle of the screen.
There's a little fun thing that happened a few weeks ago. Still very present, very new to the game.
We're seeing the Ying for what feels like the first time here for Waybo, but Upor has the Warden, and it looks like it was actually a bait because the execute was happening down on site. Speakeasy does get taken down. Turdster finds his opening though with the Glaz. Now with more than 2 minutes to go, yes, Waybo haven't got plant, and they haven't got side control, but they've got a 4v2. They can full reset the round.
They have everything but that. They have the 4v2, they still got the power operators, up they go to another. Now they can set it, right? 4v1, let's just go, boys.
They know exactly where he is. And, well, Grubby is able to take one down. He's hit 10 kills. Don't underestimate this player. It's very winnable. Flashbang goes out. There is info here. The Heretics fed to Grubby. But the plan is now confirmed. Hoven's low HP, but Uppe and Reeps have both gotten outside. They don't need to overcommit to this. They could send a drone in if they wanted to. There's even a Claymore under this window. All they have to do is deny the plant and not get baited into it. 30 seconds, and Grubby's going to have to keep on going. There's also a vertical angle here for Hoven in Library. He could just shoot through the floor. Grubby has to go and take that fight because he cannot defuse while Hoven is alive, and Hoven knows that he was going upstairs, so he just goes back outside again. Now there's a player on the window watching for him. Waybo are toying with their food, and they lock the heck in after the tactical timeout. Gohan, very happy with his boys.
I love myself a good pocket strat. What I really like about that one is how we're starting to see more and more use of the Thatcher rework. So often we see it being you're planting and you're covering the C4s purely for the plant denial. But in this case, Blackbeard and Glass both go in, and instead of Thatcher watching for the plant cover, he's just simply expecting a C4 to be tossed into the smoke of the Glass and take him out. So Thatcher is actually covering the Glass once Blackbeard goes down, expecting a second C4. Just sitting there, gadget out, knowing I can't see through the smoke, I can't get a kill, but I can try and enable my Glass even further by denying any gadget tossed his way. Super, super smart.
And look at how calm they are after winning that round. Saw it coming a mile away. The round was won in the first minute with that play, that immediate strat. And then one thing that we talked a lot about, I can't remember who it was that originally said it a few days ago, but APAC, something that has historically this region has struggled with, isn't necessarily aggression, isn't necessarily creativity. Actually, one of the most aggressive and creative regions in the world. But it's throwing those advantages. You know, Kagging back in the day when the Japanese would come here, it's those 4v2s that you really should never be losing, always seem to slip through their fingers because of a lack of discipline. And that is the most disciplined Weibo I've ever seen.
I mean, it goes back to Gohan's tactical timeout, saying, guys, we got the advantage, let's not do anything crazy, just play smart together. It is, again, utilizing your advantage of manpower as a tool. Because you can 2v1, you can 3v2, you can just literally increase your odds of winning so drastically by having more guns in the same direction than your opponent.
Doesn't matter if you win with a massive ace or a clutch play or a crazy strat, or if you just win because you locked in your 4v2.
That's it.
A round win is a round win.
We ace together, we get ace together, we lose together, we win together. That's the mentality. It's not my ace, it is our ace.
And look, to be honest, for a team that has kind of faced some roster question marks in the past, you know, Turdster was benched back in the Bleed days before being brought, and then picked up again. And, you know, there was obviously everything that happened with Mentalists. Weibo are looking like a real solid roster, a real team. They are looking in sync. They are looking like they want to be playing together. And they look like they can refrag like crazy. Reeves for a double. As Heretics try and consolidate their advantage after the opening pick, they fall back to side, and both of them will fall. Oscar's now isolated. He's been sold by his team. And the rug is being pulled out from underneath Heretics' feet on the bomb side, leaving Oscar all alone on the mezzanine. Skeptic low HP as Oscar gets targeted. Reaps will find the third. Skeptic 1v4 as Waybo continue to exert their dominance here at the Six Invitational.
Just one more bullet. Demo shot coming out. You are absolutely screwed, Skeptic. What are you going to do? You got no side, you got no friends. It's only a matter of time before you will go into the grave.
1 HP, but no dream for Skeptic. The underdogs are brawling in the pits, but Waybo will land the first blow on Chalet.
Clinical final round. Reeves catching both people rotating back, and then what I really liked was Oscar on the fin rear. He snuck back into that start position of mezzanine. And I'm thinking that's a sneaky play. They're not gonna see it coming, but they naded, they flashed, and they are very ready. This thing is, right? Team Heretics, they always lose the first map. What can happen? We'll find out after the break.
We're here with Waybo. Turd is joining us on here, and you guys just locked in #1 in your group. How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling great. Kind of in the middle of a game right now, so hoping to go back and do some prep for the next map, but it feels good and just give us more confidence going to the next map.
What's trajectory like from then on? Now, of course, the game is not over. You still have that second map. What's the focus in for?
Yeah, so the focus is to win the next map, hopefully, and after that, I think we have a break day tomorrow, and then straight into I think we have a game the next day, right?
Yep.
Upper bracket quarterfinals or something. So hopefully win that, qualify for main stage. That's like the big goal. The biggest goal is like winning the event, but the smaller goals like qualifying for main stage. So yeah, just one game at a time, and hopefully we can play on main stage.
Back to you.
One game at a time, but so far with this one map, they lock in first position. Absolutely amazing stuff.
He did not realize that they made it first of the group, no? I don't think they know. They're just walking past us, and I'm not sure they know.
No.
They're top of their group.
So just to clarify, Weibo will be top of their group regardless of what happens from here on
Say
out.
it louder, Jack.
I hope they now know it, Instead, they're memeing, they're chilling. What that also means is Weibo are now 1 win away from main stage, which is absolutely sensational from them. They still have a map to play, but I thought they were really, really good on Chalet. I loved their defensive setup. We saw so much Aruni, Malusi, we saw Clash, we saw Fenrir, we saw Denari, we saw Traps, and realistically, it was so good against Heretics' attack style.
Yeah, and comes to the attack, we see a completely different playstyle. We're not poking around, we're not setting up traps, but if you look at this, you see Speakeasy on the Blackbird almost every round, 5 rounds out of 6, and if you think about it, they bring the Hard Breacher, and on the side, they have utility usage. Whether it's a Capitao, whether it's a Sense, everything is made to have an easier execute. Where on the side of Heretics, they were focusing on poking around, playing cheesy operators. We, on the side of Weibo, are looking at team play, cohesion, a lot of utility. Completely different setup, but it worked well for them. Take the upper end, and that's it. That's a first map for them. But at the same time, I would say Heretics kind of a diesel. They need a little time to warm up.
Yeah, they tend to, well, again, they've lost the first map of the series. Just on the side of Heretics, just a quick shout out to Flexi. I think we were quite impressed by how flexible he was.
Yes.
Playing multiple different operators, what do you call it, Leo? 11?
11 operators, 11 different operators
in
out of
12 rounds. That's on an individual basis, I thought he had a particularly good series for the side of Heretics. And I think for them, actually, it's going to be another game where they look back at it and think, we could have won that. We were competitive in that map, in that fixture. Like they've been in a lot of the maps that they've lost, but ultimately didn't go over the line.
So far, the script is working out, right? I mean, Heretics lost the first map, as we see often in these best of threes. Weibo being good on their attacks, which we've seen so far in this event as well. Now, what does the script say for the next map? We're going to Cafe, which is Weibo's pick.
I'm very interested in that pick. Weibo picking it makes sense, right? But I'm just focusing on the Heretics now because they're on the back foot. We've seen them played against NIP. Incredible display of 4, 7-1 against NIP. That was a really good one.
Yep.
After that, we saw them play it against M80, and they struggled, Jack, 7-3 loss. But I think they learned a lot from it. They were excited to go back on that map today. And if you look at the side of Weibo, they 7-0'd Fearx on it, obviously, and 6 rounds were in attack. 6 rounds
on the attack as well, that was incredible.
So we're looking at two teams that love the map, and I think that Heretics can learn from the defeat yesterday and improve a lot from that.
So for Weibo, there's now no pressure. Like whether they know it or not, we still don't know if that's confirmed, but there's no pressure on them, doesn't matter what they do. For Heretics, the pressure does still exist, because realistically, they're now in a direct fight with M80 for the top 2 positions. So they still need to be looking to win this fixture out to try and secure top 2. Obviously, it's then dependent on what M80 do later on, but that is the fight that they've got. Because realistically, Heretics being the tier 2 team coming in from EU, if they're in their 3rd positions with the fact that the top place 2nd team picks their opponent, they are very likely going to get picked by a very, very good 2nd place team. So, for them, getting 2nd place themselves is massive.
It's massive. It's
maybe more than most other teams in this tournament.
Exactly. Because as a reminder, if they are 3rd place, they cannot pick their opponent, but if they're 2nd, they can. And like you said, they will most likely be picked if they're 3rd.
Exactly, that's how it's looking with these groups so far. But as we can see, the final words are being said between the players and the coach ahead of this second map here. The second map is ready as well, so we'll send you back to our casters.
Thank you very much, Anne, and everybody on the analyst team. Guess what, Nick? It is time to figure out if we're going to have another comeback for Heretics, or if Weibo will rocket through undefeated into the upper bracket of the playoffs.
Yep, and the fan vote says Weibo Gaming. I understand why. They're the dark horse, they're doing really, really well. And as the players now for sure knows, they are locked in first. So, yeah.
It's a big opportunity now for Weibo. They are top of their group, but will they be undefeated? It's Heretics who look to stop them. Let's find out here on Cafe.
So let's see the operators if things will change around, because Chalet and Cafe are not all that similar. You can't just play the trap operators and take the fighting. We're talking much more window repels, a lot more utility where you gotta clear out your very specific corner, especially around piano, freezer, top wide, etc. Operator bans because of these things. Information is very important, right? Monty and Solus in the first rotation, that is very Cafe tailored.
Very much so, and you see the Aruni go through as well from Waybo. They're really targeting, for one, the retake ability. I mean, Solus is all about plant denials and retakes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it also sees like the claim off of jump outs, the nomad traps, etc.
Which is, there's a lot of aggro on Cafe, a lot of windows to jump out on such a repel-centric map.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if you know what's outside the window, you could go for it, but without the Solus, it's like, do we even dare want to try for that?
And the Aruni is an operator we very rarely see banned, but her pick rate's gone through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, Fresh was praising it on Chalet, saying, I love how we're seeing operators like XYZ, but he mentioned Aruni as one of them, and it's true. I do think Aruni falls into a category of underrated, because it's kind of like you get denial if they toss anything into it, but you also get information, almost like a Valcam that has a singular life, because they can't walk through that door without you knowing if the laser gates are up.
And speaking of underrated, you know who I want to talk about for a second, Nick?
Is it going to be Flexi?
It's going to be Flexi.
Okay.
This guy was an absolute gamer on map 1. Unbelievable stats from him. He's actually the 8th best player in Paris with an average EPS of 115. He's even outdone that by 1, despite losing the first map reasonably convincingly. What was it in the end? 7-5, 7-4?
7-5.
I mean, Flexi, he has been really living up to the name and flexing his muscles when it comes to those individual hero plays. The analysts said it well. Heretics have had some big individual moments, like from Flexi, but when it comes to team play, Waybo are the kings.
I mean, the thing is, for a long time, Waybo, they were the Reaps team. He was having 20 kills every game, and there was a lot of dependency on just him. Then I feel like we saw the Turtster era, not that long ago, actually. He was popping off every single game. They made the Speakeasy era. He was popping off every single game. Waybo right now, a much more well-oiled machine where everyone gets into the action. You see it here. Speakeasy versus Grobby, the two very vocal players, also pretty evenly matched up against each other. But, I mean, Chalet was a close map. Yeah. And I think if you're Team Heretics and you had a slow start, as you always seem to have at this event, having a close loss is phenomenal. I mean, it should set you up really well for the second map, and we spoke briefly between maps that Cafe should be a very strong choice here for Team Heretics.
Very much. And look, just shouting out names of players here who are performing really well. I want to give a shout out to Ape, the guy on your screen right now. He plays, oh, he was on your screen for a second. He plays a lot more of a passive role typically, and he has a lot of support responsibilities on the team, but he's actually the second highest rated player on Weibo at this tournament so far, and it is his first Six Invitational. He played formerly for that Elevate roster with Speakeasy when the old Weibo team was known as Team Joel or Bleed. And so this is actually his debut opportunity. He did play at one of the majors with Elevate, and very, very long time ago he played at the Berlin major with Gaming Gladiators, if you cast your mind all the way back. So he's still been around the block a few times, but an SI debutant nonetheless. Now, we've just gotten into the game. We are about to get back into it. Thanks for your patience, guys, while we just worked out how to get the game started again, but we're into it now. And yeah, here's some stats from Up. 103, this is for this game, so not quite crazy, but you know, you
pretty good.
Compare it to Skeptic on the other side, who has struggled a lot so far in this match.
Again, some people start slow and some people they do not. I feel like that could just be the story here.
I actually have a little stat, sorry if I can interrupt, for Ape. He's actually got the tied second most 3Ks at the tournament. 7 3Ks so far.
That's one of those obscure stats that people have.
Actually, dude, I scrolled through some obscure stats last night. I got well and deep into the spreadsheets.
I like it. What do you say, 7 3Ks?
7 3Ks in the tournament.
That's pretty good.
In 3 maps?
Yeah, exactly.
That's 3 matches?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, very good, especially considering he's more of a backline player typically. I mean, look at him on the Nomad right now.
Yeah, I feel like Nomad is really excellent, especially when you ban out the Solus, because now you can get a little bit more value out of it. Of course, you can still rip down a door or barricade in a window and hear the air jab like ringing, but when you're walking into the unknown, air jabs just have a much higher chance of working out, whereas against Solus, you always know where they are. You can share that with your team. Team Heretics, they will start off with a duo of an operator pool that we haven't seen much of until recent history. Mozzie and Mute combined together. Now, Mute did go through a couple of changes. Of course, he got arguably nerfed against wall denial. Selma charge from Ace don't get Mute jammed. The secondary heartbeats can openers also no longer gets affected by the Mute jammers. So Mute is more of a drone denial, info denial operator than the heartbeats denial operator. And with Mozzie getting a secondary shotgun back like he had with Super Shorty way back in the day, you can pair these together to really deny the drone information from the attackers. Twitch drone got the mirror window to start all things off. Great start for Waybo.
Yeah, it's funny because despite the Mozzie and the Mute, we're still seeing so much good drone work here from Waybo. You mentioned the Twitch. We also just saw a default drone, a normal drone, I should say, catching some of these positions. Heretics are trying to obfuscate the information so they can go for plays, and it works for Grubby, who does take down Turdster, the main hard breach, and in fact only hard breach ability for Waybo with a nitro cell. I didn't see where that went from. I think it was just in washrooms, maybe onto the white window rappel.
Somewhere around red, I believe, or down. Yeah, I'm not sure. Either
way. He's in washroom, so it would make most sense if that C4 was on. Oh. No, wow, that was a big nuke. That was all the way into Cigar.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be rough now for Turdster. There's far fewer counters to these mirror windows, and still the mirror in washrooms is up and alive.
Yeah, it's going to make the entries a bit more difficult as well. And no more Twitch drones will hold so yeah, what do you do? Jump out elsewhere. Ooh, get to goes down. C4 misses, actually.
Another C4 though, and a jump out at the same time. So Heretics are looking to get aggressive despite having been in the advantage. Upor, a nice shot from him though, on the white stairs. He was being flanked from below, I believe. But Weibo have struggled to even take control of the top floor.
Oh my.
Grubby has had a huge impact upstairs. It's going to be a first round in the books for Heretics. Speakeasy has a lot to do, and Waybo didn't even successfully take control of the top floor. So a very decisive round to kick things off on Cafe.
I mean, you lose the hard breach early, only clear out one mirror window, and mind you, the bomb site is below, as you said, so it's like, even getting top floor control is half the battle. The Asamis are there as well, nothing to dealt with, boosted up in the places. Grubby good for 4 kills in the first round. There is that energy. That took about 5 or 6 rounds of Chalet to come into action. Here it took 1 on Cafe. Again, another sign that Team Heretics, they just simply start slow on the first map.
Yeah, great start for Heretics. A very solid defensive setup around those mirror windows. Likely to be a fall-off strat on the top floor, but they never needed to fall off.
Nope.
They had the opening kill for a very aggressive C4 into Cigar, and they just kept following on piece by piece after that. Big round for Grubby certainly helps out as well. 4 kills on the mirror.
We haven't seen a lot of fall back with, like, you know, majority of defenders alive at either Chalet either. We see them either lose the roam game top floor or win the game top floor, or it's like a 4v1, last guy stuck on the bomb side. So it's really been about just holding the extended area for both teams. Like we saw, Team Heretics, they still had the Asami barriers, they had the mirror window. Why would they fall back? Well, if the timer is low enough or you get enough kills, you could just say, you know what, we don't want to risk dying upstairs because it's not where the bomb is. We could just fall back regardless, but the stylistic choices here is we fight and we hold our ground for as long as possible. We will even go there until the end. Whereas some teams will fall back the second they get the first pick, thinking 5v4 will take it.
And Fresh on the analyst segment highlighted that Heretics actually still are battling to try and get second seed in their group instead of third seed because, of course, M80 still sits in this group in second place. And between M80 and Heretics, both will start in the upper bracket, but only one will be second seed, which means you get to choose a third seed team. Heretics really want a gun for that. I mean, Grubby, he's played 2 Six Invitationals before with Team Secret. Yeah. Both times he got first rounded.
Yeah, they won one single game, that was it.
Exactly. He wants to go as deep as possible, and Heretics have certainly shown that they're capable.
See the early fighting again. Window opened up, Grubby C4 tossed on out. Speakeasy pushing a blitz rush, but not quite gonna go for it. We also see Maestro making his appearance here onto Cafe, and of course in response, Hobbin on the Brava, the best counter pick against the Maestro cameras, really. But I love this, how much drone and plant denial you get here with the Mute, Mozzie, Maestro combination, but it does go back to that old saying, all your eggs in one basket. You don't have a ton of trap operators. You don't have necessarily a ton of good guns. Very few bullets here, right? SMG-11, Brody, 16, 17 bullets. Maestro stuck on cameras half the round. It can be tough to deal with a Dokkaebi Blitz push later on.
I think Waybo is struggling at the moment. They still have a lot of map control to deal with. Oscar upstairs. Oh, timing, but Grubby is going to fall elsewhere. I like the tech from Speakeasy, putting the shield on his back so he won't get shield guard broken by the impact grenade. Speaking of grenades, Waybo on site. Need to find a way of dealing with these evil eyes, and Reeks will throw one out, but he doesn't have a second for the second evil eye, and Skeptic has done plenty of work with the Elder. 3v1 now for Waybo, as Upor is locked out of sight by the fire from the Vulcan canister. He will have to bide his time. He's got a little bit of info from that one evil eye, but Weibo, all three of their players are completely separated. They need to regroup. Tursler just around the corner from him with the shotgun, and he'll get a face full of buckshot. A nice conversion there from Weibo. An explosive and confusing round, just as much for me as it was for Heretics.
And again, we got to see Weibo recognizing, guys, they're pretty weak everywhere else but the bouncer, right? Like 3 of the 4 Goyo canisters were just inside the mining room. 2 of the evil eyes were as well. The mute jammer, the mossy pest, they didn't have, again, a lot of different ways to stop the blitz and Togepi combination. And while there was a rat play happening in Cigar Box, hoping right here to get a kill or 2, the Togepi phone call goes off like half a second when the blitz is right around the corner, giving away that spot that should have been just a rat play that worked. So small things, of course, but again, I do think Team Heretics, they invested a lot into one way of playing the game. Weibo, they had the adaptation to recognize that strength, and then they played into their weakness instead.
Yeah, that's right. Weibo have been so good at adapting. It's the current era of Siege. You can't just have a great strat. You have to be able to play off the fly. And Weibo are going to be challenged similarly this round because Heretics have brought the clash on Oscar, and he's going to hide that for the entire of this prep phase, forcing Weibo to, well, as a result, they won't repick any obvious counters, right? So they're going to have to think, once they finally see the clash, oh crap, what are we going to do about it? Now, thankfully for Weibo, no shield, so they're not going to just have a shield immediately guard broken by the clash, but they are going to have to, well, they're not going to have anything like a Zephyr or a Nomad or a Kali that would otherwise directly counter that clash.
And Capital's banned as well, so can't even pick that. And I think for this specific attack, I think they would have picked Capital if they could, because they're looking to go for a top floor roam clear, do the verticality, and set things up for a default execute, at least for now. And this is actually a great counter pick to they have the pre-placed drones, right? Because Heretics, they're stuck in the very bottom floor, especially when you're hiding the clash. Only 4 people doing site setup. That means less time to hunt the drones upstairs and whatnot. So quick in the building, but this vertical take, it counters the clash entirely. Unless Clash walks up a staircase and supposed to roamers early on, the verticality will be a huge problem for Oscar later on.
Lion Dokkaebi, what a combo here for Weibo. They've so quickly taken control of the top floor in just a minute.
They drop.
And they have already forced Grubby down the hatch as well. This is so good from Weibo in terms of time management, but what matters is gradual progress for the next 2 minutes to make sure they're actually setting up for that execute on the site.
And you see, because they're ahead of the curve right now, they're actually double, triple droning everything that you often skip, like inside the trains themselves, because they know the only way we can really lose this round is if we make a mistake somewhere and they punish us. Not droning every kind of nook and cranny on the map will be a mistake, because if they're hiding there, well, that's bad. You're not going to use your last Dokkaebi call until bombs that execute, so you can't use it for roam clearing. You already split the first one for that.
And they're going to continue being really fast. I mean, Ram is by far the fastest vertical
and
operator.
Loudest, right?
And loudest as well. So look, they're not being shy this round at all. However, Ape is going to suffer. I didn't see where that kill came out. I saw him drop, I think, towards, yeah, it's just outside reception. So a very nice shot from Grubby. 5-1, by the way.
It's a good shot from Grubby, a bad death from Ape. He had that final Dokkaebi call in pocket, so crucial for execute. And now, that's one of those small mistakes. A person exposed themselves in a 1v1 and in a 50-50 gunfight. When you got the advantage, you don't want to take those. But look at this. They flip the attack, red stairs into coke.
Surely they might be able to refrag that. No, Speakeasy is supporting from bottom of red stairs. Grubby is cheeky in a spot. He might actually spot the angle, but no, Reeves from upstairs on the vertical does find him. And the smoke goes out as well. A nade inside of the smoke may put Skeptic under a bit of pressure, and indeed, Upor will go down. Skeptic finds one, but the trade will come through so quickly from Weibo, so it doesn't matter. And now Flexi has to get very aggressive. He's abandoned his position inside of VIP, but he's about to get targeted by the Deimos. Weibo have an answer for everything.
He's gonna be stuck in there. Issue is Case is so far away. They have to go for kills. They cannot get the diffuser. They have to go and find the smoke.
It's gonna come down to Oscar now in the 1 versus 2 on the clash. He's put his shield down, and now he sits there. But you said it, they don't have the diffuser, but they do have the shield to play off of. Can they take him down? Turns that goes for the kill. And it's a first round, or second round rather, on the board for Weibo here on Cafe as they take the lead over Heretics.
Oscar's shaken in the 1v2. Maybe not sure exactly what was happening there. The case was upstairs either by red window or outside Baker. I'm not entirely sure, but it was very far away. They had 17 seconds. We know that, of course, the top-down perspective, but the players in the server, no one saw the case drop on the ground because that's not possible. So Oscar probably worried about, hey, if I give up too much space, if I just run away, they can take the bomb site, go for a plant, and then I will definitely lose. So he's sticking around, trying to fight it out, but they were just running at him because they were desperate because time was running out.
Who did drop the diffuser that round?
I think it's just somebody dropped it in the midst of like doing verticality and rotating.
So it was upstairs.
If I were to assume, it's before Speakeasy walked down the red stairs.
Okay, I had a call. Ram had the diffuser.
That's Speakeasy, yeah. Because he was making an aggressive play walking down the red staircase, right?
So he has it here, and then he still got it.
Was actually
he
it went,
dies.
oh, okay. I thought it was all the way above.
There you go.
Okay, I thought it was the floor above, but he actually died with it. I thought he dropped it himself.
That maybe explains at the end why Weibo started pathing towards small bake, and then decided to go for the kill once they found Upor.
My assumption there was that if you go for a really aggressive play, you drop it yourself so that if you die, it's not stuck in a really bad location.
Funnily enough, it was stuck in a really bad location.
It was stuck in, yeah.
Because he didn't drop it. It's funny, he didn't drop it, which is why it ended up being stuck in that.
But it's one of those things where if the play works, now you have Case and Bakery right by the bomb set. That's excellent.
Yeah.
If you die, you don't. And I think that goes back to Abe dying early. It shows the depth that Waybo have these days, where Plan A became Plan B because this small thing changed. Because I'm very certain that they could have gone for a default hats drop had they had all those 5 players alive. Would that Doki be called for backstab late round?
Well, I'm sure that the intention for Weibo was to go for a default back take and ignore Bakery because that's where the clash is the strongest. But Heretics fought too hard and died too many players on that rear side before Weibo got to that point, and in the end, it was just focusing up and executing on site. So great stuff, phenomenal round from Weibo. They've taken the lead, attacking on Cafe. Heretics' map pick, and things start to look very awkward for the Europeans. How do they come back now? They've struggled to find their footing. On the first map, they took their tactical timeout 2-1 down. They have saved it in the pocket for now. They'll try and keep it, but if they lose another round, I think they're going to have to hit that stop button and talk with their coach.
And your Deimos and Asami banned away as well after that third round. That was going to change things a little bit for the defenders. Holding on to piano control, much more tricky without the Asami. Fighting those pesky roamers, much more difficult, of course, without the Deimos. So verticality, a bit more hard to come by. Box pick rate on Cafe, not the greatest these days. You know, going below and blocking up. You just pick the Deimos, you track someone, and that gets the job done for you typically.
Yeah. No Deimos this round, though.
No, it's banned away, so not possible at all.
Of course. Oscar.
Highlight drop.
Oh, wow, this is very aggressive. Oscar will fly one with the orb, but traded back. That's worthwhile for Weibo. That gives them the map control they were wanting. There's still a player in washrooms, and that's Grubby. He finds one. He's taken very low HP. Weibo tried to hit the go button, maybe a little bit too early, but they have equalized the numbers, and Ape will quickly trade Grubby back again. It feels pretty early on in the round, still over a minute to go. Only half the players left remaining in the server. And nice, critically, Turdster is looking for those Valkyrie cameras. This is perfect. I mean, Weibo know they have an advantage. They're just making sure not to make any mistakes.
Put a drone on red stairs and white stairs and start doing a little bit of verticality. Make sure you drone out pillar for none of those rat positions. And then a default plan attempt here with 2 people covering, 1 on vert, maybe 1 by the door, or just 2 people upstairs is completely doable. It's very important, though, in my mind, that Weibo don't surrender top floor control and allow Heretics to retake. But right before that happens, Flexi finds a kill out of nowhere. Abe, again, he dies before they execute, before the team is ready, before the vertical soft destruction from the DMR of Reaps has happened. This is going to change the round. They can't really plan it in 2v2 anymore. They have to find a kill.
It was a very, very risky play to make from Ape, and Weibo are going to suffer for it. That could determine the result of the round. Last nade comes out for Reaps. Turdster and him have to go in together. Turdster looks to try and find the plant while Reaps will cover. He gets a bit of damage on the Flexi, but he can't duel both of them. Turd gets up and finds the first one. He has to go deep on Flexi, and he finds both kills! Up against the shotgun, Turdster is ice cold!
Thank God he came off the plant, because if he just sticks it there hoping the cover is good enough, that's going to be a round loss. Instead, instantly switch off. Also, such a good nade spent on the rotate of Laundry. Nade the left, hold the right. Reeves did the best he possibly could. Turdster supported him in the end. Ape has to be a little bit careful here. This is twice in a row where he falls right before the execute. He's an important member. They need him for those executes.
I hate to lay blame at anyone's feet, but you can't deny it's Ape's responsibility that round got so dicey. Thankfully, Turdster, such an easy clutch for him. He barely broke a sweat. Flexi really frustrated by that. The tilt's starting to set in. And I have to wonder, when is his tactical timeout coming out? Defense Cafe, you expect to go 4-2. Remember, Heretics won 7-1 against NIP on this map. Waybo beat Furex 7-0. Both teams like Cafe a lot.
Mind you, when you get into the third operator ban, the coach does have that, like, what, 15 seconds of talking. So maybe he thought, you know what, I'm going to just say, ban this operator and then talk for 10 seconds about what you want to talk about. If they lose one more round here for Team Heretics, that's got to be surely, when tag timeout comes into action, try and make that comeback a possibility. Because as I say, you called it too late. You're facing match point. It feels over already. It doesn't seem doable. You got to keep faith. Again, on Chalet, it was one round at a time for Team Heretics. They almost brought it back into OT. They were so close. Turdster is on the red car, holding all the angles of the glass. But when we see this operator pick lineup, we're thinking, Weibo, it's not going to be any ordinary attack, right? Lid, glass, Dokkaebi, the ramp for... What was that? Sound cover? Yeah? Just all out, man. It's the matter of all they need for Waybo. Need a tiny opening somewhere on the map, and they're going to take the whole damn round with that tiny opening.
They haven't even set any foot in the building, but they've already cleared and created a lot of vert on bar using that ram. Just preparing for the late round. Nitro Cell, very risky. I mean, Grubby had no info except a little bit of audio on where that blitz roughly was. And yet that utility was wasted so early in the round.
It's expensive, right? Because both Flexi and Grubby C4s are gone. And when you have the Valkyrie, you're thinking, well, when you have Valkyrie cameras in the building, a vertical C4 should be pretty good to land. But you toss them outside the building, away from the information. But again, if that C4 lands and kills somebody, you're playing 5v4, that is phenomenal stuff. And we also have to respect here, Waybo bringing IQ for like the second round now. So they're very much countering the Valkyrie pick here.
Yeah. Not just the Valkyrie, but I mean, every single operator here could technically be detected by the IQ. Here comes the first Doki call from Ape. Grubby is looking to get aggressive. Will he find a player? Turdster hears him and gets him. It's Reaps with the IQ. But Heretics weather the storm for now. They find a few kills and bring things back into the realm of possibility. Turdster on the bomb site inside of a smoke, but the diffuser has been dropped by Waybo.
Defenders very close together. They have a crossfire established, just waiting for that smoke to expire, not peeking the glass because they know that Turdster is on that particular operator. Again, Waybo in a spot where they can't go for a default planet team because there are three enemies against the two people. They have to go fishing for one. They gotta find... I mean, they can plant and bait him into a swing because they're actually playing really far back. They give him so much space.
Ooh.
A turd dies.
Speaking about too much space,
maybe catchable.
Needed to play pretty far back there. Reeks 1v3, sees it first, takes him down. Out goes the nade. That gives him some space. It gives him some options, and he's got some info as well. Red Pig's coming out as his teammate sits on the cameras. Reaps still holds the line as Oscar and Flexi try and peek him, but they do so one by one. A 3K for Reaps, and a big clutch lies in wait for the Chinese player. Oscar must step up with his years of experience, but Reaps, he's one of the best players in the region for a very good reason. Oscar clutches it up, a retake in the 1v1, denies the clutch, and breathes a sigh of relief for Team Heretics.
So many small things can change the outcome of these rounds. What happens if Turdster doesn't go deep, doesn't die? What happens if Turdster gets the kill instead of him going down first instead, bringing it to a 2v2? What happens if 1 second of that timing is different from Reap swinging double door on the museum door? So many things can change. That is how close these rounds have become. Team Heretics playing it so well together. But then there was that, again, small opening. You give Waybo just a little bit of space, and they will take everything with that. Look at this. We're talking half a second, 1 second timing difference. Reaps gets both players. So close.
Oh my god, look at his facial expression when he won that clutch. That wasn't celebration. That was a sigh of relief.
You heard DMC, the coach behind Team Heretics, right? Saying, come on, guys. It was very much like that should have been cleaner. Like, good that we won the round, but that's not how we should have won it.
Irritation in the air.
Yeah, that's a bit of frustration for sure. And I think, again, rightfully so. I think if you just kind of go, let's go, we won the round, and you never address the thing that you should have won a lot cleaner, then you're just kind of accepting that you're not going to play perfect. You got to strive for perfection in some areas. In a 3v2, you should strive to have that in a much cleaner way.
Sure, but just looking at the result so far, 2 rounds to 3, Heretics also struggled on defense yesterday against M80 on this map. They only won 1 out of their 4 defensive attempts, but they also struggled on attacks. They only won 2 attacks in the half, so I don't think it's going to get any easier for Heretics as we move into the second half. They need the 3-3 here. I think if this is 2-4, I think it's GG 2-0 for Waybo, which leaves Heretics in a very awkward position of probably ending up being the lowest seeded team heading into the upper bracket.
Drone going out. Reeves is stuck at spawn. Gotta keep your head down. So he spends a lion charge very early to try and save himself. But I mean, look how much time it's buying. It's been almost a full minute. He's droning garage, looking for the spawn peak, right about the dining window. He is just, he feels so stuck. Finally making some progress, getting to that building. He might just stick around bottom garage, but look at this.
Oh, Hoven wants to go for it.
He hears him, but it's just a risky play again. If you jump in,
don't do it solo.
You could shoot the ADS for starters, but yeah.
He knows exactly where he is. Don't do it solo, though. Flexi's finally finished off Reeves. That was the VIP player. Reeves is not having a good round, stuck in spawn, and then finally taken down. Heretics look very much in control here, and they've just had Grubby also rotate upstairs and re-roam all the way into Pillar. Don't think anyone from Weibo is going to be able to catch him because all of them are positioned either outside the building or just Hoven in reception. So it's not going to be a vertical take at all. And I think Grubby's starting to clue in on that. Maybe it's a bait from Weibo because they're watching, waiting for someone to move in.
I mean, I think this is the most pressured Weibo has felt strategically because how are you going to pull this one back? They're stuck in a hot spot. Let's last look at the call spin again very early. And the code player is still there and they can't clear him. He has an ADS. There's no flashbangs nearby to help him. Just smoke grenades. That doesn't do anything.
They're going to have to take the fight onto the rear side towards VIP, but there's a player in an off angle. It's a cheeky position for Oscar. He finds 1 kill. And the numbers start to slip away even further for Waybo. Turdster desperate inside a bakery. It's him and Speakeasy that try and put pieces together. Uppe from the other side of the map on the second floor is nowhere to be seen. And he'll be finished off by Grubby. Good opening for Turdster, but it'll need to be a 2v5 if Waybo are to win this round.
Really gotta praise Team Heretics right now. They've been so eager to fight every single defensive round, but right now they're standing back, holding crossfires, not swinging anybody besides Uber, who went down just a second ago. Again, they give up the plant position. They got the crosses. There it is. Oscar for 2 kills.
So disciplined and so flexible. Perfect for Heretics and the best round that we've seen from them yet on Cafe as they tie up the half and we move now onto the attack for Team Heretics.
3 attacks is pretty good. 3 defenses, given how it started, also technically pretty good. Anybody's map here.
And now a chance to talk to their coaches as well as we move into the operator ban phase. And look, I was definitely feeling like Heretics needed a tactical timeout. They've proven me wrong. Now they get essentially a tactical timeout for free. And they can save it in the back pocket in case Weibo starts to build momentum on their defense.
Sure, there's going to be a Castle Mirror or Castle Sami because I feel like if you only ban one or the other, you're only like half doing it, right? It's one of those like, okay, there's no Castle, but they'll just Sami off the stuff instead. Though could be always excellent, of course, to ban away. Local operator.
I was just thinking in terms of defense, like in terms of those architect operators that make it really hard to play around piano, washrooms, fortify a lot of the map. I mean, Weibo, they banned out the Azami, but they didn't touch Mirror, and Castle never even got played by Heretics. So it's interesting to see that Heretics prioritize Castle as their first ban, despite not playing it themselves.
Now, I was going to say Clash, Mirror, Azami, Castle. Those 4 people go together, right? It's a matter of do you want the moving object of the Clash or the immovable one by the mirror window. It's a matter of choice.
The dynamism of an Azami, the dynamic ability to move around and play loosely. But of course, I think in the DMR meta, Azami...
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that, yeah. The new DMRs introduced to various operators.
Run 3 DMRs and you're no longer really scared of Azami.
That's it.
Do you reckon they need to nerf the... do you reckon they need to nerf DMRs in any way whatsoever?
I don't think DMRs in itself is a problem that they're strong. I think it's an issue that so many attackers have them and that they're strong. If you had to pick like, I don't know, Sophia and
pick low pick rate
like,
operators.
let's say Ram Sophia, right?
It's kind of like what used to be the case with grenades, right? You would have to pick only a select few operators just to get the grenades.
It feels like you can pick almost any really high meta lineup.
Defense.
Yeah, that too. You can pick like any high meta lineup and get like 2 or 3 DMRs by choice if you wanted to. So
I feel like the choice between a DMR and an AR should be like a stylistic choice rather than an obvious choice.
I like the fact that DMRs do more destruction for Asami, so the obvious choice there, right? But also mind you, DMRs are particularly good on land because 0 ping, perfect bullet hit rate, etc. You die in literally 2 bullets. And people are much more skilled at the highest level of play versus, like, let's say your average ranked player. So I do think like there's a rank in the game where you probably see almost no DMRs due to quote-unquote skill issue. And it's more fun, in my opinion, to play an automatic weapon as well.
What if you could only, and so the last question about DMRs, what if you could only pick the 3x scope and not the 2.5x?
Like really make it a stream stories.
Yeah.
I'll take that. That's how it used to be actually.
Yeah.
At one point. DMR scope.
Well, we will see 2 DMRs this round on Upor and Oscar, but no Azami to deal with. Instead, it's going to be downstairs on the ground floor, and we're really leaning into this fortress in Bakery for Weibo. But with Skeptic on the Monty, Heretics do have some good ingredients to deal with it.
And when you play the Monty, it's more important ever that small, gradual progression, step by step, burning away the toxic babes in the smoke, that is progression. Because eventually he's gonna run out and then the round opens up. But right now, they're jiggling, they're baiting, they're bringing utility, they're breaching as well. This means there's more angles against them, but also more ways to enable the Monty in. But there is that final toxic babe, and of course the Yokai Jones has to tie up a backslide again. Reach tries to go to Flexi. This is exactly what happened in reverse last time where Waybo lost Ape early. This might change the entire attack.
Speaking of DMRs, by the way, there's one for Reaps. He still has a Nitro cell in pocket. He's also got 2 of his Tuberale canisters yet to be used. Unfortunately, he wasn't in position to delay the breach onto Prep Wall, but now Ape is really feeling the pressure. A flash, a nade, and a push-in from the attack as Bakery is theirs. 2 Yokai drones taken down and 2 kills for Oscar as well. Heretics have lapped up this map control and turned the tide of the round.
This is where the Monty is going to be so important. The plan should be easy. You for another one. DMR's long range, right? They win those gunfights. There is no C4. Turd staff, stalked by the red stairs. Hoven, stalked by the double door to kitchen. They can smoke and plant.
I mean, it's just such an impossible task here for Waybo, completely locked out of the bomb site. And Turdsta, even though he has an angle deep from red stairs, there's just no way that he can deny this plant. He'll try and get active amongst the smoke and the cover from the Sens wall, but it doesn't matter because Oscar has found his 3rd of the round. 1v4 for poor Hoven, and Heretics are on the verge of taking the lead on Cafe.
Speaking of DMRs, huh? Oscar is a turret inside our prep, just getting kill after kill after kill. And again, the Monty came into great effect. The most difficult part about that round is honestly just clearing out Bakery itself. Once you do that, you can just keep walking forward. Nothing can stop you. And this is the thing. Echo got that slight buff, right? 3 Yokai drones. And when you have 2 of them in Bakery getting shot at the exact same second, you're down to just 1, probably in the opposite end of the map, on the back portion probably. So no information, no denial. And very shortly after that, nobody left in the server to use them.
I gotta commend Heretics though. That's a bit of momentum built now.
Oh, absolutely.
3 rounds in a row, 2 to close out their defensive half, and then a really good attack. Despite being 1 player down, they committed to Bakery, and yes, it was essentially an all 4 remaining players pushing the same direction, but it worked, right?
Yeah. And I think when you lose that backstabber, on one side, it's like kind of best case outcome because you still have your frontal push. On the other side, it's the worst case because now you have literally no other pressure in the map.
The funny thing is, it just puts all your eggs in one basket, which is a phrase you said earlier. But the problem is, it's 4 eggs against just Ape. That's all I'm holding it. He burned all of his gas, and he could have maybe just given up on Bakery.
It's hard because like, if he wants to try and run away and gets clipped in his back, you know, then it's like, okay, you try to run away, you die for nothing.
Especially DMRs. Like,
if you stick around, maybe you get a kill, maybe you get something going.
Also, like, Ape literally could not have played that better.
Disagree.
Oh, okay, here we go.
He could have stayed crouched and crossed right to left-hand side. Only Monty could see him, but he stood up sprinting away from the grenade. The nade wouldn't have killed him.
You don't think the nade was red and he was flash?
The nade is red until it isn't. He held A in his keyboard and walked left in. I mean, the thing is, he would have still died, 100%. But he could have played it better.
Okay.
The outcome probably would have changed.
Okay.
Very small things here.
Look, I want to commend Heretics. The way that they played that, they burnt all the smokes, Nade and Flash and Monty. Like, Uppe was a dead man no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, the only question there is maybe he could have made a crazy kill somehow.
Yeah, true. Unfortunately, no one else from Weibo could support, but never mind. Like, I'm sure Weibo would love to be talking about what they could have done better that round, but there's no point now because we're on a different bomb site, we're in a different round. Upor has actually just bested Speakeasy, despite Speakeasy getting the first damage onto him, and Flexy's found his onto Hoven. It's been a few quiet rounds from some of these Weibo players. Look at how much Uppe wants to get aggressive. He's going to get burned by the fire. He'll try and use his C4, but it won't find anything. Heretics are very much in control right now.
Yeah, it's actually a very smart use of the fire there. Skeptic was afraid if he goes on their rappel, they can jump out and kill him on a bad timing, or when he goes upside down, if they're prone below the window, they got his number. So he spends a fire to ensure he gets that white window repel pressure to cut off that rotation, cut off that flank, and they know maybe not. There's a player stuck top floor in Freezer, but they have no clue actually.
They do know about this player in Cocktail, and now they've taken him down. That's Reeves.
Turd is hiding.
Yeah, it's Turdster. He's now
breakdancing.
stuck into bar, and Uppe is looking to try and get aggressive. It's all up to Turdster now, 1v5. No universe where this happens, especially not while the Lion rings out. Grubby will take him down. It's a flawless round for Team Heretics. They've built back momentum. They've clawed their way back into this game, and they've taken a 2-round lead.
It's a classic slow start for them, but they are here to play.
Look,
Tag timeout from
it's very simple, the
Weibo.
situation, okay? The problem is, you guys are forgetting who you are facing. Bro, they are fucking slow. You don't need to jump the window with push, bro. Okay. In Bakery, bro, you have 2 ice on the hand. They use sense, bro. Freeze the shit. Just, you know, go for fair gunfights, guys. We only missing that, fair gunfights. On these 2 rounds, like, we will not find these fair gunfights. Like, you try to fight Monty, you try to fight a lot of stuff. You up it. Bro, I said you, bring traps, not shitty smoke on the Bakery, bro. We don't need this. We need traps. Next time you bring Denard, you know? We need to delay them. They don't have a lot of utility tools. So yeah, guys, keep going, yeah? We are the best, but you guys are forgetting who you are facing, yeah? They are fucking slow, guys. Yeah. Let's go. Just cross angle and win the shit, guys.
Yeah. I think I have a new favorite tactical timeout, coach.
I was about to say the same. I'm a big fan of going right in here. I mean, again, a lot of value to be said. Kind of just says, this is the problem, that's the only thing you gotta worry about, and this is the reason why that's the case. And it starts off with, you're forgetting who you're playing up against. It's as simple as that. Their playstyle does not match up the same as other enemies you've played in the past. So very good few words there, and that should change the conversation very quickly, because with such big changes for the side of Weibo, I mean, Heretics, if they do the exact same attacks into that, that should be a counterplay. So now we gotta watch Team Heretics. Can they adapt on the fly? Are they ready for the switch up?
Well, it's not going to be Bakery. I think that's a good move, because even though Gohan did have some advice, maybe play traps, maybe play Denari, I still think it'd be really hard to defend Bakery against the way Heretics were attacking it. So I like that Weibo aren't going straight back to the top or to the bottom floor. Instead, we're going to one of these split bomb sites. Now, the good thing about this is you can just play the layers of the game. You can peel it back, start on the top floor, continue peeling back the layers, and exactly what Gohan said. Remember who you're playing as. Heretics are one of the slowest teams in the tournament. They're so good, but they are slow. Play something where you can have a bit of resistance and then peel back the layers, waste their time.
I do want to say, though, yes, the bomb side plays into falling back step by step, but this defended lineup doesn't say that at all. You're playing Sentry, the recruit on defense, doesn't bring a primary gadget, just BP and C4. Then you have Smoke, which, okay, yes, you stall up, but we spoke about how Denari could be better, granting some Bakery. Then you have Reeves, good gun. I don't see the layers of falling back. You know, we could have seen a Mirror, we could have seen a reinforced wall, Kai Tubra, a Bandit, tricking the walls.
Yeah, no Azami, no Mirror is a strange thing to me, unless if Weibo want to go one more round before they bring it out so it doesn't get banned for the last
That is true. There's the long game as well.
But yes, I mean, the other big question mark here is Mute. Like, look, I haven't been a Mute main for the longest time, but he has kind of been nuked into oblivion. I think if you just replace the Mute with the Mirror, this round looks a lot stronger.
Also, mind you, Dokkaebi and Deimos are both banned. That's the 2 big Mute counters, except for droning. So, again, yeah, not to be too critical, but it does feel a bit low impact value right now. But let's see what can happen. Heretics, I want to price them right now. They're good at spending utility early to ensure they get into the late stage of the round. Early Grimbees, early Captains of Fire when need to ensure that they don't die early to silly things.
The Grim's going to be good. This execute is going to be deadly here for Heretics. Indeed, he is going to go inside. Oscar tries to burn from his angle as well, pushing in. But, of course, Turfster at the top of pallets. He's got a good hold, and the fire will miss. He finds a safe haven to hold on to for Waybo, and Reeves has supported him as well. This is a fortress of a defense on the top floor, but Heretics start to break through. They start to mount their attack, and as Grubby finds a 2K, Waybo have lost control of that top floor.
No fallback, no layers, just holding top floor like we've seen before, fighting and holding their ground for as long as humanly possible. But Team Heretics, again, slow start in this round, early death rate from you for trying to get the entry, but then they lock it down, holding the rotations and suffocating Weibo slowly throughout it. Now it's Speakeasy and Hoenn, they have a little bit of plan denial on the Toxic Babes, but SMG11, long-range fights, maybe a retake possible. Not the best weapon for this.
Well, he's in an awkward spot. Both of these players, I believe, have been droned. I'm not sure if they know where Hoenn is. They certainly know where Speakeasy is. Plant's about to go down. No nitro cell on Hoenn. And this gas is not going to land in time. Is going to completely miss. And now it'll be a retake. Flexi knows exactly where Speakeasy is. Easy kill. Hoenn 1v3. And they know where he's coming from. On the ground, well, Skeptic will fall. But the vertical play, if there was a nitro, maybe this would be possible for Hoenn, but not to be. Grubby locks in a 5th round straight for Team Heretics, and map point is theirs.
3 kills worldwide. He's on the White Winter Rappel, gets 2 picks very quickly. But if you want to go back to the Gohan conversation, that did not feel like what he was trying to say in the tactical timeout.
Not at all. But Gohan can talk again, because now we have a chance to ban another operator, so he has a really quick chance to talk.
You ban the Monty here.
Yeah, good idea. Warden ban. Okay. They're going to lean into Glazing. I think we have to play Mirror here if you're Weibo. Like, we need to lean into the
utility.
Exactly what Heretics did on defense, to be honest. Like, honestly, bring Jaeger, bring Wamai. Like, hard hold washrooms. Heretics are running over Weibo.
Mind you, nowadays, very recent change as well. So Ash breaches used to be stopped by electrification, so Bandit. Then they made it so that when Sophia came out that neither Ash or Sophia were get stopped by electrification. That then changed again last patch. You can now Bandit trick a mirror window and Ash cannot shatter it. That means the most common mirror counter of Ash is actually counterable without playing Jaeger or Wamai.
So, but that doesn't counter you getting ginged and
no.
destroyed.
Of course not, it doesn't. But if you want to play into utility, I feel like there's actually a bigger way to enable mirror than ever. Yet the pick rate hasn't seen any increase at all. And when we do see the mirror, we don't see any electrification.
They're not getting picked here, and it's hard because, like, you know, the question mark here for Weibo is: do they lean into hard holding positions, or do they play the peel back strats? And look, to their credit, this looks a little bit more peel back to me. I like the idea of having Denari supported by the Echo inside a bakery. But Heretics were really good at finding the Yokai drones last time.
I actually like a lot of things here, but there is a question mark left remaining, just like before. The 2-bar is a little bit of an odd one out, especially because you're roaming top floor with the DMRs. Are you just a good gun? I like this though, right? If they're gonna go for roam clear, you have 2 people roaming, supported by the Echo drone. That's pretty damn good. What happens if they go bakeries completely?
They abandon bakery.
And 2-bar is roaming, so if they take bakery instantly, oh, there's actually an issue here. There is no hard destruction for the attack. None.
No!
There is 0.
Oh my god!
They don't
Heretics!
They have no way
They didn't drone bakery!
They will drone it now and go, guys, they they reinforce the rotate.
So cooked. If you have no hard bridge, how on earth do you attack bakery?
Dude, had they had a thermite here, this round is actually over. And they have nothing.
And if Weibo had pre-opened the wall, then Heretics would be able to take it and have the breach, but no.
And the worst part is, it was pre-opened, then they reinforced it after. So, okay, so what they need now, ideally, they cannot really do a direct attack because they can't get the breach. What they really want to look for here is try and get a little bit of pressure upstairs, because the verticality will be a problem for mining and train in towards prep, in towards the plant breaches. Unless they want to full send it and just risk it all, but that seems really difficult for me.
They could try and smoke.
Yeah, but
the vert.
They can try.
The Glaz might be able to make it work. Glaz and Blackbeard together. 1 nitro cell goes out. There's still 1 more in pocket. Ape finds the opening kill. That's the Blackbeard. That's probably the best operator you could possibly take down. But now they know about the Glaz, and they have to go deep. This is the last smoke for that Glaz. Skeptic tries to force that plant down, but the retake might be on. He's planting inside the smoke itself, and Waybo have no idea. The Echo is too late. But now it's going to have to be a retake for Weibo. They have the numbers for it. 4 versus 2. And they've got the info. Thank you, Speakeasy. It enables Turds to find the kill. Flexi in a 1 versus 4. He's got the Grim, but he is so far removed from where he could potentially go for a plant denial. It's up to Hoven now to just distract him while Speakeasy gets the defuse, and Weibo have a beautiful retake onto Bakery.
Exactly the problem I feared happened. They don't get the verticality, they get in and they can, you know, invest everything into a plant, but the post plant is so weak because of lack of hard destruction. If they breach that wall and prep, they can play all the way outside and spawn, but they are stuck in a very less superior position. You can't play far away, can't play the vert, you're stuck in the bomb site effectively. They had one smoke left on glass, that disappeared the same time the plant went down. Yeah. You're in a triple crossfire, my guy.
I have to admit, though, credit to Heretics that they even got that close.
I guess, yeah.
With the wall fully reoed, like, there's no way that you get that plant down.
But missing, again, this is the thing about Siege, right? The devil is in the details so often. If they had a hard breach operator, everything would be different. Because they're not forced into a single doorway and a window wall prompt up against, like, really strong operators here. C4, the Echo, right? 2 C4s, actually.
Look, it was a great round for Waybo, and yes, it was just on the back of one critical mistake for Heretics that forced that desperation. But the thing is, Waybo are going to have to do that. Not just back-to-back, but back-to-back-to-back. 3 rounds in a row on 3 different bomb sites in order to push us into overtime.
You know what we're seeing? We're seeing a mirror being brought to the table. It happened.
Do my eyes deceive me?
They have found the purple icon operator, and they will play the purple icon operator.
I mean, look, let's be honest. It's not like they play mirror and then it's GG. Like
you'll see the power of mirror.
Okay.
Look, there is not a single counter operator. No Twitch, no Ashe, no Kali, no ranged hard destruction. Right?
You have Grim.
How's that gonna do with the mirror window? Oh, I know that's a guy there.
Have flashbangs.
Now I can see him kill me.
They have nades. They have smokes.
Yeah, okay. They have throwable utility. All I'm saying here is I think the mirror is such a strong operator, and Team Heretics are not respecting it. But with that being said, they don't have to deal with the mirror if they go around it. Kind of like a clash, right? You see the mirror set up heavily top floor. You could go for a horizontal take and just have a guy window repel more than hatch. So they don't have to deal with it.
I admit, Hoven on the mirror is kind of overloaded on the top floor. He's having to solo the entire of Piano by himself with 1 mirror window. It's not even in washrooms. He's also going to be vulnerable to the new balcony drop.
Yeah.
And Ape doesn't
angle as well. If and the Scarlet
angle. So like Ape doesn't really have an angle to support Hoven that well against a Cigar or a new balc drop.
But this gives you fallback options, right? You start there very much in the front lines of Hoven. If they deal with his position with the mirror window or they clear with nades or whatever, he will fall back. Then you have Cocktail, you have the other mirror window, you have Freezer, and then when you don't want to fight anymore, you fall back towards the bomb site downstairs, and now you got that step-by-step that Gohan talked about.
So big Nitro. Timing is off though. Oscar dodges the Nitro cell. Hoven now being detected by the Grimsbees. You're right, it is a peel back strat. They continue to forfeit layer by layer, and Ape will find his. Hoven's actually tempted to get re-aggressive. Sees one player. Grubber doesn't peek him as of yet. He's worried about being vulnerable to the window behind him, but I think that player has now been taken care of, which is why Reaps is allowed to get aggressive here on the white stairs. And Speakeasy and Turd have joined the fray. Heretics are falling apart. Waybo have found the antidote.
This is why the fallback is so important, right? Team Heretics, they know that Waybo will like to stick around for too long, so instead they flip the attack, they rush downstairs towards 90 radiant hallway, but then because of the fallback, they had 3 guns waiting for them. They were all by the bomb site. The layer strat is very much working. Now on a 5v2, you can hiding pillar, get the crosses, or just ego challenge swing. Turtla, let's go again.
Really doesn't need to peek this.
Do it again.
Heretics have to make the first move. They have to get close to him. They're going to walk into a crossfire. Hoven is lying in wait. The mirror comes to life. U4 1 versus 4. Weibo have weathered the storm. Oh, impact to finish it. Who's that Pokemon? Reaps and Weibo rocket their ship forward. 1 more round and overtime will be on the docket.
Very impressive. And again, if you want to get very critical, right? Team Heretics, if they pick 1 of 4 operators, that mirror window, it's gone in 5 seconds, right? Ashe, Twitch, Kali, either Ace or Hibana, it doesn't matter. 0!
People forget that 0 count as mirror.
That's true. And I just feel like, you know, they spent so much struggle top floor, the Grimbees, the Rapples, and they couldn't go into Piano because that mirror window, they didn't know it was clear enough for the longest time. So I feel like 2 rounds in a row, Team Heretics are actually doing something really solid, but missing just one piece of the puzzle, and then they're getting punished heavily. And it's honestly just Waybo playing it really well, Team Heretics trying to play it really well, but not having the right tools for the job. But you said it, 3 rounds in a row, Waybo will have to do the unthinkable and just win these rounds every single time. And they're doing it in different ways.
Yeah, that's what's impressive to me, because Heretics, look, they won 5 in a row, and they were pretty convincing, especially by the end of it. I mean, we had one 4v0 round, we had a flawless 5v0 round, and it looked, for the most part, like Heretics really had Waybo's number. The comeback started because they didn't bring Hard Breach, and now Waybo are really leaning into it.
So you see what they did, right? In the prep phase, Speakeasy is hiding the entire time, not showing the Kaid pick. Then they're going to open up the line of sight into Piano, saying, we're going to hold this one far. When the round starts, then they reinforce all the walls, and they'll double Kaid it. So now again, there's a very good chance in their mind they're not going to have the right operators. What do they need? They need EMPs or they need a Maverick. Look on the attacking lineup. They don't have any EMPs and they have no Mavericks. So now this Ace, on paper, should have a really hard time dealing with the reinforced walls. Again, strategically Weibo, or you can call it cheesing, but they're outsmarting Heretics.
It's great. I mean, look, they're kind of baiting them.
They are.
Prep phase.
Right?
You
really well done.
Pretend you're doing one type of setup, and then you immediately change your setup to something else.
The same in basement, or I don't know, basement, bottom floor. They open up a rotor to bakery, round starts, let's reinforce it. They pick no Hard Breach.
So cheeky, so clever. Something we don't often see, faking out one setup in the prep phase and then changing it in action phase. Now, Heretics, they do have nades. I was wondering, is it possible to nade that Kaid Claw?
Well, the explosive radius has been reduced a while ago, and you can't cook the grenades any longer, so you can't bounce them off and get them. So honestly, I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah. If it lands on the ground just below the Kaid Claw, you don't think?
I don't believe no, because it's the very top of the ceiling on the soft portion. It had been like further down, then yes, but I think it's too far up.
Both nades are gone anyway, so it's not an issue. Grubby had to use those nades to clear some of the evil eyes, but there are still at least 2 remaining for up A. Control taken by Oscar. He's deep inside a Piano, but still cannot reach the wall. And actually, Hoven is fully reinforced into here, so Washrooms is just an absolute kill box.
Yeah, but the Mute Jammer doesn't stop the Green Beast any longer either, but Speakeasy gets a kill to Groppy. 5v4 with Team Heretics.
Oh, Oscar might be able to flash an entry. The flash goes through, and he will eventually get the kill. They're going to have to brute force through every single one of these hallways, but Upor finds his opening. Heretics find every single opening, and they close Cafe. It took him a few goes, but a 7-5 is a win nonetheless. The Europeans Tier 2 roster continue their trend. They'll always lose the first map, but that is never the story over. We're going to a third map here between Heretics and Waybo.
I mean, if you close everything off and give them a single hallway, I guess they're gonna push the hallway, James. That did not look winnable, but small missed timings and great just confidence and prowess saying, let's just go for it. So now the big question is, what happens on the third map? Before we get there, I gotta go to a quick break.
I'm breaking necks and I'm
A great comeback from Heretics puts the map score in 1-1. Both teams winning their opponent's map pick, and again, it seems like the attack star is what making the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start with the match scoreboard, and as you can see here, it was an attacker-sided Cafe realistically, which I think previously, historically, not that common, but certainly in recent times, it's getting a lot more attacker-sided, attacker-favored. Waybo managed to get a 3-3 attack half, which I thought was great, and then Heretics managed to get 4-2 on their attack half. And realistically for me, there was a big turning point, and it was in round 5. That was when Oscar, when actually it was a failed 1 versus 3 by Roops, but realistically, it was a 1 versus 1 clutch by Oscar that got Heretics rolling.
It's the final side of the defense, and then Heretics will start an attack. And I thought, like you said, it was an impressive attacker-sided Cafe. And I think it's about the way that Heretics have been playing that. They almost ignored completely the hard bridge. They used the Grim here, they used the Rappel in, and the Lion combo to isolate Fix here in the bathroom, then in White Stairs. You know, it's been actually impressive. Yeah. If you look at this, I think if we look back at the last round especially, right? The combo of the utility usage to clear out strong positions, abuse that utility so you can take them apart, abuse the fact that Weibo is spread out, ignore completely hard reachers in a historically different-sided map. It was a fresh take on this. Like, I think if you look at Hoven here, he's completely stuck in a kill box, right? You see how Uper is actually targeting him with the Grim. Then the Ace comes in, full flashes the player, which technically has 0 chance of winning that gunfight. Flexi rappels in a Cocktail at the same time. Everyone commits. 3-2-1. We take Cocktail, we cover each other, we trade each other, and on the back of the utility, a clean round without any use of the hard reach.
I'm still not used to seeing ace flashes, by the way. It's such a weird phenomenon. But yeah,
it's not weird, Jack. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Okay, but it was great, and that was the way that Heretics have been attacking. We saw it in map 1 with Chalet. We saw it in map 2 with Cafe. It's very much poke. It's kind of ignoring the fundamentals. We saw them attack a bakery site, a basement kitchen bomb site with no hard breach whatsoever, which is probably the most fundamentally hard breach site that is on this map, right? So they're focusing on their Grims, their Lions, their Capitals, all of these kind of cheesy operators to move the defenders around and punish them. That's really good, and it worked really, really well on Cafe. A little bit worried about how that's going to play out on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Clubhouse, yeah, it's not really going to happen because you can't physically fit that into your lineup on Clubhouse because you need minimum 2 breaches. You very often need a shield, then you're going to need some kind of soft breach. That really only ever leaves 1 spot for those types of operators. Often that's a Capital as well. So I do worry for them attacking on Clubhouse a little bit.
You already said that if Heretics want to win this, they need to clear it in a 2-0. So can they pull this final map over the line, or will we come out victorious? The final map is ready.
Thank you very much, and yes,
they can.
It's time for the final map. You think Heretics can get this?
I think they can. Honestly, when I first saw the map video, I thought Clubhouse, that's going to be a Weibo W. But after Cafe, there is some hope from Team Heretics.
Look, I can see where you're coming from. Cafe was good for Heretics, but cast your minds back to just yesterday. Weibo Gaming, oh, it's 2 days ago. Weibo Gaming took down M80. The best team out of North America on Clubhouse 7-4. If you go back a couple of days, Heretics lost the very same map to the Koreans of Ferex. Who takes the cake here on Clubhouse? We're about to find out.
We're seeing crazy entering, backstabbing, strategical depth, counter-striding, especially on Cafe. How about the map that tests your fundamentals the most, and of course those bombs that execute? And hard destruction, wall denial, that is often the name of the game on Clubhouse, so it's no surprise really that Thermite and Bandit goes in the first rotation. Kite will follow through, the Electro Bros are gone. But a sense?
Oh,
that's a target ban.
Very unusual that you'll see them get banned. What is the play here for Heretics? They're really expecting it, my sense. Speakeasy is not happy about it. Look, so very rarely do you see Sense get banned.
Obviously, you have a DMR, which is great against the Oceania, Catwalk Rafters, long range, etc. So weapon-wise, phenomenal ban. But secondly, the Sense is so great on Clubhouse, exactly for the reason that we often get to bomb site execute. You can cut the bombs in half, obscure the crossfires, the vision. Let's say CCTV, right? You can do a roly-poly to block off the catwalk angle or the top angle and isolate either side and choose where the attack is coming from. And pushing through a Sense wall, no one's gonna want to do that. It's like a smoke grenade. You don't see a damn thing till you're well past the wall, and if the person is holding you, they'll see your arm clipping through in the beginning.
You know what happens when you ban out the Sens?
What do you get?
Don't ban out the Deimos or the Capital or any of the shield operators or a second Heart Breacher.
True.
Yes, that's a very niche, specific, and powerful operator in the right circumstance that you've banned out, but it does leave the floor open for Weibo to play things like the Blitz, the Deimos, and of course the Capital. And Capital in its current state is so good, especially on Clubhouse. Top floor raft is so good. You can use him as well down on the basement very well. For Heretics, it's actually going to be a castle strat.
Yeah. The castle will play in bar, blocking off various angles towards pool table, main lobby door, etc. We're just playing the center of the map, hatch open for a fallback. That way you can always get to the bomb site because like the kitchen hallway can cut off by the door. Gone 6 here in pool table, you could just run at the castle. He's often very alone. Isolate for a 1v1. Speakeasy if he wants to. Yeah, he goes straight in.
In goes the Blitz, but the castle has fallen back very quickly. Heretics a little bit wary of what might happen as soon as that castle barricade got taken down. There's still a roamer on the top floor. In fact, there are two. It's Upor and Grubby together over on Cash and Red Stairs.
Playing together.
And they're supported by Flexi down below in Secret as well.
And they have, very important here, they have verticality on towards the blue hatch and stock. So even though they're playing top floor, if Waybo don't clear them out, they're going to be dealing with them vertically instead. So that's it. Okay, guys, there's still robbers on the loose. Let's get the Blitz in the action, look for them, take them down, and try and get a kill or two here. Because the fallback should be covered. Team Heretics should be stuck inside of Cash in top red.
That means it's up to the Blitz to do the heavy lifting here. Nitro goes out and absolutely nukes Speakeasy. That's a killer start here for Heretics. Still they have that crossfire, and Flexi will also find Reaps as well. Worth his weight in gold here, but Taster quickly takes both of them down. And now Waybo can stop worrying about the roam and focus up on the last 3 players on site.
And look at this, the can openers. We saw, you know, lack of heart destruction on Cafe. They brought the Hibana and then 2 more secondary heart breach operators in both the Capital and the Deimos. So even though Hibana goes down as an entry operator, it's all okay. We can still play for execute. Capital's alive. The fire and the smoke, they have to do the heavy lifting, but be careful where you put the smoke because Flexi is on the Warden. Both can see through it, and they got a C4. To double down on plant denial, Skeptic has 3 toxic babes, and you can actually start using them before the plant goes down to just make sure that one area is safe. So if you smoke below the kitchen hatch, if you smoke the motor door, you know that if they push through, they're going to be coughing from the gas and taking damage. It's not pure plant denial, it's area denial.
No nades or any util to speak of to clear out that piece of barbed wire at the bottom of the hatch. It's going to be very hard to execute here for Waybo. Dropping the hatch is going to be a depth witch. Oscar is taking a lot of damage from the fire. They do commit. Hoven goes straight down, takes a hell of a lot of damage. But he does find a safe plant spot. Turd has found a 3rd kill. No more Warden, which means they won't be able to look through the smoke. And up base covered from up above. Oscar is way out of position. Turdster makes it a 4K. And Waybo fly out of the gates on club.
Fundamentals, strategy, counter-stratting, and adaptation is what Clubhouse often bring. We just saw Weibo do 3 different adaptations on the fly. First, they're looking for the castle and bar, expecting the solo roamer, but Oscar plays it perfectly, right? He falls back before the Blitz comes rushing, so that attack doesn't really work. The second, they want to clear top floor, but a great C4 from Grubby takes down the Blitz, and Hibana falls right after to his teammate, but then Turstep with the backstab gets 2 kills. That's the second adaptation. The third one is how do you get into a plant in the 3v3? Well, they're smoking you before you drop. Very smart from the defenders again, but you smoke, you fire, you full commit, you stick the landing, and everybody does their job and they cover it beautifully. Look at this. Skeptic knows exactly where the plant is going down, or at least the rough area, but has to make a sprint through the hallway and try and get to that location and get shot down. Waybo's communication was on point that round from the very beginning to the very end.
3v5 to a 3v0, by the way. Yeah. Tells you plenty. I mean, Waybo, they played it well as a team, but also Turd individually stepped up. He got his Ash license straight away and filled those shoes very nicely. Now, Waybo, we know that this match has been a momentum-based game for both teams, and Heretics really squarely had that momentum before Waybo started to break it. I like for them that they've already got an attack win under their belt.
Alright, bodes well. I will say for Team Heretics, one thing that I actually really have enjoyed since Chalet is that there seems to be a much more clear defined strategy. The later half of Cafe was around counter-stratting and catching them by surprise, hiding the Kaid, reinforcing walls, playing very far back and tunneling. Chalet was a bloodbath from both teams. The Clubhouse kind of gets a mixture of both. So I love that we're seeing stuff already here, like the mirror windows, the Valkyrie cameras, the 1 mile to help fortify positions.
Yeah.
On the other side, we're seeing Waybo recognize that they're gonna get to the bomb side. So Capital, 2 rounds in a row. They got the Grim now and the Ying. These are all very bomb side heavy operators, so they gotta get to side and not get caught on the roam clear too much.
Yeah. One thing I really love out of Weibo right now is not a single one of these operators is just a support operator.
No, no.
Like, they're power ops. Yeah, they're all 5 power ops. No dedicated hard bridge because you got plenty from Cap and Grim. And here comes the Candelas. What the hell is happening? Grubby's got no idea where is safe. And Hoven finds an opening with the Bailiff no less. Ape might be on the floor, but Heretics do not have a safe haven. And Speakeasy has now stolen the mirror window. He's going to get a free kill because of it, but he does get traded back by Skeptic, who now retakes that mirror window position. Grubby has done good work as well. Oh, big shot from Reese before he's traded back. It's a bloodbath. And Turdster now has a 1v2 set before him. He can jump inside, get that diffuser. He's spotted for a brief moment by Skeptic.
That's a call.
That mirror window position is still awkward because Skeptic can continue playing there and basically control the map. The flashbang is good, but Skeptic peeks straight into it. Well played, taking down Turd and winning the round for Heretics.
The only thing missing for Waybo there was actually just pressure in more different areas. There were Jacuzzi Breach, there were Office Hatch, and there were main stairs. Hoven did get inside a gym like very early in that attack, but all the floor was open on the bottom of the wall, so he couldn't really have any safe haven for a plant attempt. He got pushed by the guy in master bedroom and things fell apart. Turnstile last alive outside the windows. Worst spot to be in. You see right here, he was actually on the roof, not even on the windows. So odds are he was probably playing on that office hatch, and then eventually halfway through the chaos, rotated to the windows. And while that happened, his teammates died. He's left in a really awful spot for a 1v2 clutch.
Yeah, he still had an idea there with the flashbang on the mirror window.
And Team Magic, they swing first.
Yeah. Good round from Heretics. Again, that was a really chaotic one. It reminded me of a lot of those rounds that we had on Cafe. Like,
it was low-key giving Wolves vibes because they were like the...
You mean the old Wolves, the French Wolves?
French Wolves. They would thermal charge the Kuzi wall and Blitz rush in, drop the office hatch with the Ying, and they would make that work, I swear to God, every single time. Yeah. Until people were like, yeah, that's the Wolves attack, let's be ready for it. But it gave me French Wolves vibes.
Yeah. Okay.
Maestro, 2 rounds in a BO3, I'm a happy man.
Yes.
Brava brought out both times, makes me a sad Maestro player, but you know, well done for Reeps.
No, look, I like this. Immediately,
very sad
first
now.
one hacked. I mean, that is just so much info already in Garage.
You know what I like to do?
Hello.
Impact. But that's, you know, you're burning your own impacts, but not your own camera.
And it would have been nice to have that impact for Speakeasy later in the round.
What I really like when you play the Maestro is actually that Maestro himself, he has the drone projector that kind of obscures the vision for drones, and that works against Brava as well. So you can play the Maestro themselves, have those sensors, put them in front of the Evil Eye, and the Brava has to go all the way in.
True, yeah.
But he's playing Barbed Wire, so there are 4 Barbed Wires instead.
Obs Blocker is by far the least played piece of utility in this game.
Oh, by far. Now, it wouldn't work in bottom garage because they can just get shot, but if you put the Evil Eye in a spot where the Ops Blocker is covered, like Catwalk Rafters, it can actually work really well.
Alright, quick thought. What if the Ops Blockers were indestructible or bulletproof, like you had to nade them?
They would definitely get... I think it's just frustrating at that point, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd make him good.
I mean, true.
Alright, Speakeasy's making a play here.
But he's not taking damage.
He's surviving. Newport somehow is weaving himself between 2 different fires.
What?
But Reeps will eventually finish him off. Thank you, Speakeasy, for lapping up that control. Thank you, Hoven, for the fire. Oh, there's a good shout from Ape. I didn't know you could shoot the mirror from there so easily.
He's just in there. I mean, they're making such quick progress here. I mean, that's all the Evil Eyes dealt with.
Wow.
They got the mirror window, they got Calgraphics, they have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. They got the breaching, they got the Monty. Like, on paper, this is like the most unlosable round ever. But there's still a C4, there are still 3 toxic babes, but we gotta see Speakeasy work his magic as the IGL. Figure out, guys, how can I burn out the smoke? Do I walk in first, dance a bit by the bomb side? There's a flank.
Oh,
C4 down
the
there.
flanker, and this is gonna be an easy kill for Ape. He's actually just gonna lie in wait. Prone on the ground. Oh, he's going to get spotted. There was a bit of a bot moment. C4 is going to be now available, and Grubby down below as well. So Weibo do have to deal with that, but they do have kind of the perfect case of reach here where they won't be exposed to CCTV as they move inside. I don't know where Turdster's faced his mug and got it shot by Heretics, but does bring it back into a 3v3.
Yeah, they can just burn the last toxic bait, then go for a plant. I think Speakeasy is aware of this, so he has to like just again keep playing aggressive, force out the smoke, then go for a plant. It's that, or you block one of the doors with Monty and then plant in a safe spot. He's gonna go for a plant on the default actually. He can stick it. Yeah, 100%.
Did he can. Now one player does go down below. That's on Grubby, but it's going to be too late for him, and he's caught by Hoven regardless. Perfect cover from Reaps on the bomb site, and the plant is confirmed. Very solid round, textbook from Waybo, perfectly countering the Heretics defense.
There's a back and forth there, right? The Monty wants to burn the last toxic bait from the Smoke, and Smoke knows this, so he's trying to hold onto it for as long as possible. But then Speakeasy goes, what if I just start planting and he's not ready for it, right? If I get halfway through that plant timer, I can stick it even if he does hit the smoke. And then my teammates are 2v2 or 2v3 in a phenomenal post plant from the rappel outside, cattle grafters. Good trade-off.
And the Deimos and Mira bands come on through. I like both of these. I am surprised, though, to see Deimos over something like a Monty, because we've had 2 rounds of shields now. The only round that the Deimos was picked was actually when Heretics won on Jim, and a large part of that round was the Mira windows. So I like that Weibo's gotten rid of that. I think maybe Heretics might regret that ban later down the track if they still struggle against a lot of these other power operators.
Yeah, I think it comes down to preference of pace, right? The Deimos is so good for roam clear and faster pace entry because it gives you intel, where Monty is more like slow and steady execute kind of vibe.
They actually did play Deimos in the first round as well. I missed that.
Oh, okay.
They did play it for the whole map roam clear, but I mean, Dokubi is still in, right? So still have other roam clearing potential.
But I feel like it just shows the cards here that they want to go for a more roam heavy style, and that's why they're going to go back to basement and that same similar roam game. But if you make a small note here, there are more utility operators, right? We got stuff that can fall back towards the bomb site and still be very viable. Asami can fall back, Fenrir can fall back, the Castle is just, he's always Castle, he exists in the server, right? But this feels like they're gonna do a big heavy roam in the beginning, but probably fall back a little bit earlier this time and play their numbers.
Perhaps they will. Very similar story to what we saw last time. It's actually might indeed be a rush, but Ape has been C4'd out.
The thing is,
I didn't realize Grubby's actually in kitchen.
The hatch is closed.
Oh my god! Grubby, my friend, you're gonna have to be thinking about that for quite some time. Speakeasy's found even a kill with the pistol, aiming down sights with the blitz, and Heretics have been completely picked to pieces. Waybo planting inside at third. It is as free as it gets. Oscar lands a nice shot, but quickly traded on back again. Into the 2v1. Upor does have a decent shot here. Turd's hungry for it, but he's the last one with a gun up. It's a 1v1. I'm not sure Upor knows it.
Has no flash.
Speakeasy against Upor has to get up close. He's getting out of keep harassing him. And Speakeasy clutches up big for Waybo with the blitz.
On paper, again, Team Heretics had the superior strategy. They pretty much sold the fact that they're roaming, we're falling back. But Asami stayed in kitchen, hatch was closed. Before we talk about it, Team Heretics tag timeout.
They're playing the strength of the defense here. The one round we won was the one round we actually wanted to play for trades. Right, they're not ready for the late half of the round. So fucking utilize that. VP when we get the pick, play fucking close game, and fucking utilize the trades. Right, we've seen it in the one round we won. We've seen it in the majority of rounds. When they get to the fucking late half of the round, we're not trading properly. Get any fucking crossfire positions, play up team play, simple team play scenarios will win you this game. If you have the willingness to fucking get close and actually communicate a crossfire, it will win you this game. We fucking seen it multiple times. Multiple times. So fucking fucking get in the late half of the round and utilize the util, utilize the team play scenarios. So the late half of the round will win this.
It's such a tough one, right? Because while he's speaking truth, if you look at that last round, I think if Asami wins the gunfight against Reaps and Hibana, which you absolutely should have on paper, he got flicked like crazy, you're playing 5v3 and you have kitchen control.
Probably the round win.
In my book, it is.
But also, you can flank the hatch on Moto.
So, yeah, exactly. You can flank upstairs, you can flank main stairs, etc. So I think one gunfight literally defined the entire round outcome, more or less. And it's thanks to a phenomenal shot from Reaps more than anything. And Waybo played into Team Heretics attack, right?
Yeah.
They were faking the roam, they fell back, Asami stayed, and that should have just been that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, you know, DMC is saying, guys, let's play for the late round because that's when Weibo is not trading themselves, right? Can't force a late round when they're rushing you.
But so that's the thing, right? On the flip side, let's say Asami fell back the main stairs with the castle and didn't try to hide inside a kitchen for the freebie. Then you're playing for the late round technically, because you can only control what you do, not what they're gonna do. But then if you're the Asami, dude, they misdrove you. They have no clue you're there. You're gonna stick around.
Stay in that.
No, not at all. It's one of those things where only the person in the server who's feeling the flow of the match can really make the right call there, because he knows exactly what's going on, and we're all just sitting here going, well, I think actually that should have been the case. So hard to blame him for it. But this goes move. The rounds are so close that these teeny tiny details will often be the ones to decide who wins. Team Heretics don't have to change that much to start winning.
Yesterday, after losing to Amazing, DMC, the coach of Heretics, tweeted, "Composure effed us today. Controlled the game, but couldn't get it done in crucial moments like that." That's exactly what we had come to expect out of Waybo. A critical mistake for Upor and no one to support him. Flexi is caught on his retreat as well. A 5v3. It doesn't get much better than this for Weibo Gaming.
It hurts my player soul. It hurts so much. C4 toss is perfect. Robbie, the hero made before his team. That's just the Monty, though. He's still down a player. Don't have much left in the tank in terms of utility. A singular C4, the Skeptic was on by the bomb site in construction.
Oh, good swing.
We're swinging back. We're swinging back.
It's a good play. In a moment like this, I think you need to be swinging. E1D goes out, but a nice shot from Hoven. He finds one. So much info for Weibo on the back of these drones, on the back of the Grimspees. Continuing to force Heretics back. Ape goes inside and peeks for one. I don't know why Ape keeps making solo plays here for Weibo. It is giving Heretics chances here in this best of 3.
They must have seen an opening and just took the risk, and honestly, knowing the outcome, not worth it at all. But had he gotten the kill, that also would be the round. So high risk, high reward.
But you play the 4v2, you're going to win the round.
No one would have said, guys, play the numbers. You don't got to do anything crazy, just slow and steady progress, right? C4 toss, the last one of that doesn't get the kill. They know a player's below now, they can 3v1.
Reeks is inside, but he's one with the diffuser, and he is being covered. There could be a rotate here, though. Skeptic gets a wallbang. It's Oscar. He does wallbang, and Reeves has gotten off that plant. There's information for the defense here. A bulletproof camera, I think, that's seemingly detecting them. Reeves needs to get aggressive. Pistol in hand. The fire continues from that Vulcan canister. Terse is low. Reeves is low. The bulletproof still seeing everything happening in the bomb site, and Oscar has just fallen back. He doesn't get flashed. He finds one, looks for another, and Oscar saves the round for Heretics.
The pillar in the middle of the bomb site, stuck in bathroom for the longest time. The flashbang, he doesn't care. He stays, he stands tall, he gets kill after kill, and now we can go back and say, Ape, the jump in on Jim Winto might have lost you the round. Gohan said this before on Cafe. He said it on Chalet. We don't need to make these crazy plays. We have to play together and just slowly progress the round. They got too eager. They wanted it too badly. You can almost argue so Speakeasy here also went way too far forward, putting himself in a risky C4 crossfire position and went down early. Of course, the guns, I mean, they're hitting their shots. That's what damage sure between Heretics, but Siege will always be in FPS at the end of the day.
A 4v2 thrown by Waybo.
Yeah, 5v3. With Monty.
With Monty up. Yeah, that is where the cracks start to appear for a team that should realistically be 4-1 up on their attack of Clubhouse right now. We knew going into it that Heretics had struggled against M80 yesterday on this same very map, and Waybo, well, the only result we've seen from them this SI was a 7-0 over Fearex on this map. What I was trying to get at before Waybo rudely interrupted me by having such an incredible round is DMC very much knew it came down to crucial moments against Waybo, but he was overall happy with their performance, despite losing 2-1. I don't think they'll say the same if they lose this game to Waybo.
Against the Navy, yeah.
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 Is that not what I said?
You said Weibo twice.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you did.
When they lost to M80,
yeah,
they were still happy with their performance. If they lose to Weibo, I don't think they'll be satisfied.
it's crazy because if I'm Team Heretics, right, completely unbiased, if I make it out of groups, I'm satisfied. Because, like, let's be honest, right? But of course, you're always gonna aim for the sky, aim for more. Upor, you are in trouble. 3v1, 1 below, 2 above, white swings, doesn't win the trade, turn low XP though, but again, the Munty will be up for this one. Flexy's injured as well.
How does Flexy keep making mistakes? He was so good on the first map.
Oh, no!
He's done for.
On the run back, trying to get to the side. I feel like this is Heretics just being a little bit too panic in the serve, because if you get the Asami barrier from Grubby, who had a spare in pocket when he died, put it tossed on the window, you fall back together. So instead of saying, guys, help me, I need a Asami barricade, please, it's just, I'm gonna run back and just 50-50 it.
And this, of course, forces Heretics into desperation. A minute 30. Do you remember what their coach said during the tactical timeout? Force late rounds. Guess what?
Yeah, well...
3v5 because they overstayed their welcome in the early round. They could be forcing late rounds, but they haven't been executing the game plan as intended.
So Oscar is roaming top floor in office with 2 Goyo canisters in pocket. So the bomb site...
Oh, he's still up there.
He's still up there, and he hasn't put down 2 of his Goyo fires. So this bomb site is not going to have too much time to stall with, since that's missing. And in his mind, he's so scared of falling back because surely they're watching the rotations, right?
He doesn't want to fall back, although they've now seen him. But it's a 5v2 on site right now, and Waybo know it. They've just droned him multiple times, and that is not a very impactful impact grenade either.
He has to make the play here. He knows it, because the bomb site is doomed.
Yeah, and the drone has spotted him again. He now rotates. Good cover, though, from Reaps. That's a smart move. Now, Waybo, what would Gohan say? He would say simplify it. Don't overextend here. No need to try and hunt this guy in 1v1s. You've got a 4v1 on site with 1 player to watch the flank from Oscar. And Ape is now watching him. Ape gets spotted. And Grubby's holding the line on site. No. Oscar wins his fight. And Waybo start to form some cracks in this attack. But Reaps will find his opening on the bomb site. And with Speakeasy going deep, he's going to look for a plan on Church. 15 seconds remain. This plan should be able to be confirmed. Heretics need to get around it. They need to keep retaking, putting the pressure on. But Reaps is there for another one. Grubby's out of it. Oscar cannot stand up. Reaps has his DMR. It comes to life again. Bit of damage. No ammunition. Turd is low, but so is Oscar. And Reaps will finally get the job done. It's a dominant half for Waybo. 4 rounds on the attack.
A little bit shaky, a little bit nerve-wracking at the end when both Grubby and Oscar found a kill, tying it back to a 3-on-3, but the attackers of Waybo had the superior position, right? Oscar stuck in kitchen, dropping down the hatch, can't do much. Another defender stuck inside a third tunnel, can't do much either. In Speakeasy, he said, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. That means Church has to be free. I'm gonna sprint in, and even if we lose the gunfight, we will get the objective successfully.
Oh, wow. All right. It's all about the hard breach today. It's
very much so.
Second half. All hard breach bans.
Electro Bros and Thumares.
I'm just thinking about the mental game. Remember 5 rounds in a row on Cafe for Heretic? They were scary. From their defense into their attacks, they kept that momentum. They're looking a little bit tilted now.
I mean, the way that both Flexi and Upor died here in this round is heartbreaking, because it's Church to survive with 1 bullet of health. So if you get the kill as Upor, you're super happy. Flexi runs back from bottom blue and he dies and gets shot in the back. He dies as well. Another heartbreaker. It's these, again, very small things. But there are things that could have been done, like the Asami keep barrier to protect your teammate, to fall back together, to not overstay on the top red stairs maybe. But if your game plan is to fight back and fight for map control, you can't play too scared in the server either, because if you give the entire map to the enemy attackers, they're gonna execute in a 5v5, and that favors attacks more often enough.
And you can see it on the Heretics players' faces. There's a lot of emotion, but not a lot of energy left. Even just a little frustrated sigh from Oscar as they lose that round, as he loses that clutch. I mean, Waybo also aren't that energetic either, but they do look a lot more chilled out. I mean, game is pretty intense, though.
Of course, Waybo's gonna want to win here and just be the undisputed goats of their group.
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
but they're qualified.
Technically, Waybo don't need this win.
Exactly.
No matter how badly they play from here on out, they could have lost 7-0, 7-0 on the last 2 maps.
Yeah.
And it really wouldn't have mattered. They still would have been first place in their group. There's no seeding advantage. They've already got that advantage. This is just about playing well for the sake of the game.
Exactly. It's consistency, discipline, practice. Because mind you, especially when you're from APAC, how many really high stakes, high quality tier 1 games do you get? Domestically, they're gonna just run over 90% of other teams because they're just that much better.
A lot of people say it's one thing to practice in scrims, but it's another thing, you learn so much more from actually playing a real comp game.
That's it. So that's how you can treat it. Try your best, learn the most, and get as good as you can for the rest of the games of this tournament if you're Waybo. The Team Heretics, of course, a lot more on the line. But also, you're coming from Tier 2 LCQs in Europe, taking on pro teams to get here. You are the real deal, but this is bomb site, Robbie.
Yeah, this is a play. He's looking for an opening, misses his chance.
Here's a gap.
And immediately spraying back, and of course, the Goyo to be popped. Flexi snuck in through the church wall breach itself. Doesn't get the kill, though. Now they know where he is. There's a little bit of cover, though. And Flexi will finish up that kill onto Ape with the nade. Turts actually might fall back and go for a flank, but Oscar's in garage storage, now going down blue stairs, but the attack has fallen flat on its face. Weibo maintain their control, they look for a 5th round, and the crossfire is too much for Oscar to handle. 5-2 for Weibo.
They were deep inside, but the cage was on the blue portion of the map on the Hibana. It goes down too early. I think there was a spur of the moment, hey guys, the roam is heavy, there's a gap on the bomb site, let's just full send it. But again, the wall bang, the Goyo fire pop, and Case being in the wrong location, they can't force anything. Waybo very much successful here in Clubhouse, kind of to the expectations of the desk of us, but that cafe gave me so much hope for Team Heretics. And again, they're so close in these rounds, yet it feels like they're still so far. Johan is just like the biggest fan of his boys.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love the energy. I do feel like Weibo picking up Gohan has got to be one of the best things that this team has done since forming.
I'll do you one better. The most surprising pickup almost ever from a support staff perspective, because mind you, before Gohan came back onto this roster as a support staff member, he was gone from the Siege scene for years.
That's 6 or 7.
Like a long amount of time. No, 7 or 6 years, mind you.
And keep in mind, like, there has not been a player roster change on Weibo ever, right? After Boston, right, the old Bleed or Team Joel roster, which had their worst tournament ever, all of those players were dead sick. Remember that import roster? We had Noodle and Leader on the team from the UK. Weibo Gaming forms. Also, the old Bleed team had to deal with so much drama to do with their org. They weren't getting paid. Now they've got Weibo. They pick up the best players from the old Asian Elevate roster, Speakeasy and Upbeat. Now they have a new leadership figure in the team in Speakeasy. And we've now got this, finally, a move to bring in a really competent coach. It's exactly what this team needs.
They also had a boot camp in Europe ahead of the tournament. I think they were, if I believe to be correct here, at the Team Liquid facility, which is funny because Gohan used to be for Team Liquid, so they have a contact there for sure. So they've been in Europe for, I think, a week prior, getting ready, getting, you know, jet lag coordinated and whatnot, so they're not going to go sleepy tired. They really set themselves up for the biggest chance of success at this event. That is no understatement. They've proven themselves very worthy. Got the clash for this one. Speakeasy, he showed what he could do earlier with this operator on Chalet. It is so annoying to deal with, but they got good counters. Fire, Nomad, grenades.
A lot of damage done to Speakeasy. He's going to be very vulnerable for the rest of the round. Still one fire in pocket. I mean, if you pull one, that could be done. Wow, this is a double jump out. Tursta finds one, but he will be traded back. Grubby did well. I like the idea from Weibo. An impact onto the Kiba barrier and 2 players to jump out at the same time. It's cheeky, it's risky, it doesn't pay off.
It's one of those plays where, you know, your opponent's not going to see it come because you got the clash, you got locked on the bombs, you got trap operators. So sometimes, oh, let's just throw a span in the works, jump out the window, re-aggress, get 2 kills, jump back in, but they get punished. This gives Team Heretics a great shot at this round. Nate spent for the mute jammer, I believe, to open up that single wall. There's still 1 nade left in the pocket of Flexi. That can take down Speakeasy's clash very easily. And of course, a Deimos tracker as well for information.
Grimbees go out, 50 seconds to play. They start tracking some of these players. They are going to have to get aggressive, but Speakeasy's still got a key position, and he slips through the cracks to find Skeptic. A Nitro from Ape causes all kinds of hurt now for poor Heretics. But Speakeasy's in an awkward spot because Flexi is just around the corner from him. Now he knows Grubby is outside, is going to reactivate. Just so awkward. This shield The taser continues, and yeah, Grubby doesn't know what to do. They know that Flexi's in the middle of the bomb site, but they're not going to do anything about it. He's instead going to make his way forward and clean house. The final 2 kills come through, and Heretics stave off defeat for another round.
Again, a big sigh of relief there. So close and so tricky. When you have players stuck outside Jacuzzi with Deimos deep in the bomb site, you literally cannot help each other in the clash. There was no counterplay left, no grenades, no nothing. A kiss of the camera.
Look, he's in high spirits if he's doing that.
He's feeling good. Grubby's been quite the character in this event. With the cameras, with the content, with the energy in the server. I think when you go from tier 1 and you have it all, and you then go down to tier 2, gotta fight your way back. I think you get a whole new level of appreciation for the grind, for the job, for making it to a tier 1 LAN event. When you've been in tier 1 for a long time, you make every event and whatever, you know, things are just flowing, they're rolling. You probably take it very for granted.
Yeah, like if you're a player, you know, on one of those teams that makes every single event, like, you know, for example, Space Station has made every single event since Yonshipping. It's kind of just become normal to come along to these things, and all the benefits, all the advantages that come into an event just becomes a privilege. But no, Grubby, he knows what it's like to struggle at an SI. A year ago in Boston, Team Secret, which he played for at the time, first rounded. Immediately afterwards, him and Virtue get dropped. Yeah. And now Team Secret are arguably looking like the best team at Six Invitational. Them and Waybo and FaZe are the only teams remaining undefeated off the top of my head. Am I missing any? I'm going to say it's just those 3.
Let's just say it and hope it's true.
Furia, maybe Furia. I think, yeah.
Yeah, they're all not serious. Either way.
I mean, Secret is looking like one of the most dominant teams at the event. That's for damn sure.
And that's why once you get out of groups, start seeing the 4 different group teams play each other and mix and match it a little bit in the bracket. That's going to be super exciting.
And yes, I have confirmed there's one team from each of the 4 groups that is top of their group. It's Waybo in Group A, Furia Group B, FaZe Group C, and Secret Group D. All of those teams still remain undefeated.
There it is.
And yes, Oscar looking at his former teammates and their success, obviously champions in EWC, and now looking so good at SI. It's nice to see that he's still got a little bit of character, and it's not all too serious at these events.
So they pop the cancel barricade. Abe sprints away from middle of lounge as his cover fades away. Goes back upstairs to reposition. Cancel UMP buff plus the extended barrel means you do like, I don't know, 46 damage per shot for the UMP. Packs a punch. Reaps finds Oscar elsewhere though.
Doesn't matter how much damage your gun does if it hits the head. Reeks has now just found 2 of them. Flexi is struggling. Reaps goes for 3. Skeptic 1v4 on the glass outside a garage. Needs to make a move, but they know exactly where he is. And Turnster will continue to contest. Another round for Waybo and match point in their hands.
This is where the pressure is going to be its biggest if you're Team Heretics. Of course, it's not the end of the world if you lose, but you are so close, right? So close. And you have more that you want to show. Also, very smart thing they did last round. They actually had a deployable shield on catwalk rafters right above the staircase. One, it makes the shield have to vault over. That sucks as a shield player. But also, you can avoid the cancel fire. Because now you can play by the window, by 90, by catwalk rafters 1, 2, and the shield. So you can sprint across and avoid the cancel fire in case they brought it. So great counterplay by Waybo, being ready for the shield, for the capital, for whatever happens.
And for a long time, I will say Turdster has been one of the best players I've seen at playing the rafters position as Azami. He's always been really good at it. And even though that wasn't necessarily the focal point of the round, just having Turdster alive in that position is what enables Reaps to get aggressive elsewhere, because Heretics are spending so much time trying to deal with this fickle little player up on the rafters. Now 3 match points for Waybo. And they may continue what has been their best run ever at a tournament. In fact, one of the best ones that we've seen for APAC in a very long time. You know, the very first time that an APAC team topped groups at Six Invitational was in 2019 with the Australian Fnatic roster. Dam1 did it again in 2022 in Sweden for the Six Invitational. And Waybo could indeed be the 3rd team from APAC to win a group stage at SI.
So basement heavy on the util, right? The Nari lasers, smokes, fire, and the lasers from the Maestro. Team Heretics, they don't have the Brava. It's the first time in this BO3 we've seen a Maestro getting picked and no Brava in response. But it usually has been Team Heretics playing on defense with the Maestro and then Reap specifically counter-picking the Brava. So Only Dokkaebi is a real counter operator, and I would not be surprised actually if this became one of those like 5v5 or 4v4 heavy bombs that executes. And if that would be the case, Team Heretics don't have the easy answers, right? There is no Grim, there's no Shield, there's no Ying. The only real thing they have is Dokkaebi Deimos. It's great for roam clear, get a little bit of information, but it's not gonna make your bombs that execute all that much easier. There's the first call for the roam clear. The second one we save, of course, for execute later. Now they see the Maestros on the board as well. Again, it feels like Weibo have just simply got themselves in such a strong position from the operator pick phase alone. Hats gets popped. Again, we're just setting things up. It's going to be that 5v5. There are no roamers from defensors. Reeves 14 kills, by the way. He's been popping off. Everybody from Team Heretics very much even. 3 on Upor as the lowest, and 7 on Oscar as the highest fragger. So everyone kind of struggling together, if you will.
It's just classic Heretics.
What team effort
Gohan said about Heretics during the cafe timeouts. We know how they play. They're slow, they're methodical. We just want to peel back the layers and waste their time. Now, Heretics didn't manage to catch that Weibo player who managed to get away into dirt. I believe it was Speakeasy.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that missed opportunity. Weibo just wants this timer to keep on ticking down. They're happy to give up all this map control.
They found 2 of the Evil Eyes so far. The issue is this one can shoot the Kairos on the wall just like this, unless you walk in and shoot at the exact same time. Does get 4 of the pellets. Thankfully, Skeptic has some spare in pockets, so they're applying pressure everywhere, right? They got all the hatches, they got the triple wall open up a little bit as well. They're trying to apply so much pressure onto Waybo that they don't know where the attack is coming from.
Oh, good shot though from Grubby. Durster gets aggressive and he's exposed. Take it down. A good nade as well. Forces Arpe back. Now he's in a pickle. Trying to play on the vending machine. He's spotted out by Skeptic. But elsewhere, Upor has fallen on the Deimos. As Ape does his best to hold on. And now amidst the fire and the smoke, Reeves will get re-aggressive. The Chinese player today has done just about everything required for Weibo. It's desperate times for Heretics as they make their way down to the site. Skeptic to find one, and Flexi joins the fray. It's Hoven in the 1v2 as the plant goes down. He finds the first one to cover. He doesn't know where Skeptic time, and he's faked it. He's baited him out of it, and Hoven has clutched it. Years since the region has had a team brush with greatness, but APAC has a new hope. Weibo remain undefeated at the Six Invitational in Paris.
A dominant showing, not just today, but every day of groups. If you're watching them, if you've seen their performance, if you know about their history and what they want to achieve, this could just be the event where they go the distance. So much potential. In Team Heretics, we gotta say it. You came in from LCQs, you're still in the tournament, it's not over. I know you wanted more, but you've done great. And this is, more than anything, insane experience from them.
There is no doubt at all that Heretics have exceeded expectations, even going this deep, but this loss is gonna sting. Weibo up and done after this.